and Irish against the US, America only lost 3. So in 1979, in came the rest of Europe, including the future 5-time Ryder Cup winner, Seve Ballesteros. Since Team Europe was established, the head-to-head reads Europe 13, USA 9. Home advantage is a big deal. Europe's last away win was the miracle at Medina in 2012, and America hasn't won on European soil since '93 at the Belfry. It's accepted that both teams tailor their home courses to suit their own players. For example, in Paris in 2018, Thomas Bjorn asked for the rough to be kept extra long beyond the green to target the big booming American drives. 10 years earlier, Paul Azinger did the opposite and the Valhalla rough was trimmed right down. On both occasions, the home side were resounding winners. So what about the money? The most recent Ryder Cup in Rome drew in a record 271,000 spectators and boosted the Italian economy by €262 million. In the US, the PGA America TV deal with NBC is worth $440 million. But no Ryder Cup revenue has ever gone directly to individual players. That's until now. In 2025, for the first time ever, the US team will each receive a fee for playing in New York. Of course, in Rome, legend has it Patrick Cantley refused to wear his cap because he wasn't being paid to wear it, though he insisted it simply didn't fit. Either way, Team Europe have made it clear they're more than happy to keep playing for the sheer thrill, joy and prestige of the Ryder Cup.
Good morning, welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne alongside the one and only Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
So Manchester City kept up the pressure on first place Arsenal with a win against Newcastle last night. It was live for you here on talkSPORT.
Scoops across towards the far post. O'Reilly is there and he heads it across the goalkeeper and into the net. It's a super move and Haaland comes up with an assist for O'Reilly.
So we'll get down into all of yesterday's Premier League action, including Chelsea throwing away points late to Burnley at the Bridge.
Burnley have a corner. James Ward-Prowse whips it in and Burnley equalise at Stamford Bridge. Fleming the goal scorer. It's absolutely remarkable.
News just in that Sam Ellard actually wet himself when that happened yesterday live on air. 03717 223344 is the number to get in touch this morning. Chelsea fans, is a Champions League finish in your future? You can have your say on that. And we'll look ahead to more cracking football to come up today. Looking forward to this, the latest instalment of the North London Derby. Jamie O'Hara told us Spurs must smell the blood in the water.
You know, there's good times and bad times to play teams, in my opinion, right, throughout the season. I think this is the best time that you can pick to play Arsenal right now.
Oh, is he right about that? Has he got a point, or will Arsenal tear them apart? We're going to get the latest from the winter games as well and round up all the weekend action from the rugby up in Scotland and everything coming up for you today. Huge show ahead. That number 03717 223344 81089 if you want to send a text. Good morning. Weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. Oh, Cass. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good. Had a long day yesterday, and Brentford versus Brighton, which probably the poorest I've seen Brentford play.
Weird, right? Weird result. Expected.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, Keith Andrews nailed it afterwards. Look, they've been on an incredible run. They got 40 points at the moment. They've had an incredible season, and it's the worst I've seen them play, but Yeah, and I'd say play second half they were decent. Just couldn't really break down. And I got to just give a mention to Brighton, as in 3 senior pros: Welbeck, Milner, and Dunk.
Brilliant.
The 3 of them all were really good yesterday for Brighton, and enabled them to have, I think it's their first away victory all season, Brighton. So fair play to them yesterday.
I'm glad you brought up the age thing as well. Somebody on talkSPORT yesterday, maybe it was Crookie, maybe called it kind of Dad's Army kind of thing.
I wouldn't go that far.
Somebody said that, but like Dad's Army, and I'm sure it was about the Brighton team. But the experience goes so far, and that was a massive win for Brighton yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are crying out for that.
It's something that I look at Chelsea and I think, and I know we're going to talk about Chelsea a bit later, but I just feel an experience in certain positions, especially at the heart of their defence, is vital because they have young players with flair. You have to have experience in teams. I find it very hard to think of a team that, and someone might let us know on this, that was basically all youth and not no experience, because I think it bodes well for you as a club and what it brings to the table, having experience on the pitch. They make decisions, the experienced players, that mistakes they've made in the past, they don't make so many.
Right.
Didn't give the ball away over him.
Yeah.
He's nearly 40.
I think that's the thing. I think you get to the age in football and people kind of then start to write you off, or you can't be considered. Yeah. Actually, you might be in a way better because you've got more experience.
Well, you do lose, obviously, if you've had loads of injuries, Shebahn, that obviously, that's another issue in itself. But what experience does do, you just don't make as many mistakes. I remember watching Thiago Silva, and I'd watched him a lot of PSG before he come to Chelsea. And someone said to me when he joined, it'd be great for a year. And I think you'll get more of a year out of him. Yeah. He could play till he's 40, Thiago Silva.
I know you don't follow a lot of women's football, but at the moment, the Women's Super League is going so far. It's flying. It's the most sought after now league in the world, and lots of investment, and clubs making money and blah, blah, blah. But you get to like 26 now and they're like, too old. It's just all about young players now, I think. But, then you see those teams struggle that have gone for that kind of model.
That model. And 26 is not an age to be considered. I know football clubs, and you've hit on a point, I know a lot of football clubs who look at the model of making money and how they can, potential, they put a lot higher value on than proven, which I don't agree with. But there's certain clubs that won't look, if you go down the ladder, especially in the Championship, don't like to look beyond 27 with giving contracts out to, players that they see no resale on them.
Yeah.
Which is a strange one, because you're trying to build a team to be successful and win things.
And you played till 34, 35?
Oh, do me a favour.
36.
Higher.
Really?
I got to 38.
That's brilliant, you see. And you
I didn't start till I was 37. No, I got to 38. But I was in a very young team, and we had me and also I had a player called Michel de Wolf, who was a famous Belgium international. Again, he was in his not beyond mid-30s. And I was always in teams in my career, especially in France, even where 2 or 3 clubs experience was really vital.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Again, we're looking at Chelsea, another sending off for them yesterday. And some people say when they're winning, they don't touch on the experience thing and not having an experienced player, but actually they're very much so missing it.
It's one of an issue, but I think it's a very important one.
Completely.
You have at football clubs players that you can trust in certain scenarios. Take the North London derby today. Well, I know we're going to talk again about this, but North London derby, last thing you don't want is someone losing it in a game, because your mentality and your approach to this game is just as important as your performance.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a great game today. Hopefully it will be. We had a fascinating day in the Premier League yesterday with key results at the top and the bottom. Here's how it all sounded for you on talkSPORT.
Oh, what a free kick to put Leeds in front. It's beaten Martinez, and Stack slams it home.
That is absolute quality from Stack.
And it's one of those old heads, Danny Welbeck, who has doubled the lead. Brentford 0, Brighton 2.
Chelsea are down to 10 men. Wesley Fofana has been sent off for a second yellow card.
Corner kick has come in now. Costa knocking it down. It's turned goalwards and it's turned in, and that is the equaliser late on with just 2 minutes to go, and it's been slammed in by Tammy Abraham.
Burnley have a corner. James Ward-Prowse whips it in, and Burnley equalise Stamford Bridge. Fleming the goal scorer. It's absolutely remarkable.
On is even at the London Stadium. West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0. Across towards the far post. O'Reilly is there and he heads it across the goalkeeper and into the net. It's a super move and Haaland comes up with an assist for O'Reilly, who gets his second goal of the game. Manchester City are on the hunt. The gap is just 2. The goal difference is just 1. And the message is clear. We are coming to get you. Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 1.
Absolutely brilliant. So Leeds picked up a vital point at Villa Park yesterday. As you heard, Brentford defeated by Brighton 2-0. Chelsea and Burnley managed a 1-1 draw. West Ham was goalless against Bournemouth, and Man City last night live on talkSPORT really hotting up the old title race chat with a 2-1 win over Newcastle. We heard from Pep Guardiola after the game. He spoke to our Sam Matterface on how together the team are at the moment.
The first in beginning of the season against Spurs, the first game, the second game, but then we start to talk. We have to hug, we have to have five, we have to celebrate the difficulties, work together, and that's why we are there in the 4 competitions and closer to the top than the 6 for the qualification Champions League next season. So, and with I don't know, 65-70% new players, and many things have to listen and work, and the habits that we didn't have, and now we have step by step. So yeah, I'm really pleased.
Unreal performance yesterday from Nico O'Reilly, getting that brace, just really flying from Manchester City. What a star.
Yeah, we've just rattled on about experience, and then we're now going to talk about 20-year-old.
But it's all about a balance.
He was superb yesterday. He took his 2 goals brilliantly. Loved the header from the assist from Erling Haaland. And I just couldn't see yesterday, for love nor money, how Newcastle were going to get anything out of the game because of the break that City have had. You know, Salford in the Cup last week, and you know they've had time, and Newcastle had a European game in midweek, and actually Newcastle made it a much tighter affair.
It was a great performance from them,
considering you know,
and the Dan Burn push as well. If you're pushed and then it ends up being offside, it should have stood.
Well, yeah, that was another controversial one, but he clearly gets pushed. Yeah. Clearly does.
Yep.
And City didn't play their best yesterday, but did enough to. I just didn't see them not winning that game. I couldn't make an argument for Newcastle yesterday.
It really was some fight, some performance. Aït-Nouri put absolutely everything into it. Haaland was on the ground after the game, getting picked up from his teammates. But one thing Pep mentioned there was that togetherness. This is the position that Manchester City know how to win the league. They're hunting Arsenal. Are you changing your opinion now?
No, well, no. I stand by what I said. I still think Arsenal have got the best squad, and have shown over the course of the season so far. But we're not at the end of the season, are we? If City do go on a run, and we've seen him do it before. It's a little bit by default this year that it's become a little bit tighter because City haven't played. Man City fans have been spoilt for a long time, as in what they've witnessed and the type of teams they've had, level of performance. They've been superb. And this team isn't quite there yet, but they gradually have got, I think, improved. Defensively, they've suffered a lot this year. John Stones has been injured a lot. You know, Diaz hasn't quite been the player he once was. Guardiola's moved around, and Nathan Ake's not playing as much. These are all defenders. They went with, really, over the last sort of 18 months, they've changed 2 fullbacks. Aït-Nouri's come in. But O'Reilly's a midfielder more to me than the wing. He can do both.
Where would he be called up in Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad? I mean, he's had 2 caps so far, but from that performance last night.
It would be very hard to ignore him, because someone of 6'3", with his ability technically, his pace, his aerial threat. O'Reilly's got. I mean, he actually, when you see him standing on the pitch, you don't realise how big he is.
Yeah, is he? You know?
So he's a real unit as a young man of 20, and he seems to have a great mentality. I mean, it was a great day for him yesterday, but he's been playing. You look how many games he's played for City this year. He's been involved since really the start of the season.
Yeah.
He's been involved.
On that note as well, January transfer window, if City go on to win the league, having Mark Guéhi come in, Semenyo come in.
Big. Guéhi was good yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Semenya's going to be a player for them anyway. There were 2 fantastic signings. That 2 signings alone were like Alisson and Van Dijk. When Liverpool went and got Alisson and Van Dijk, 2 major coups, That's what City have done.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of now looking like today, can Arsenal get the win over Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the North London derby? Spurs flirting with relegation, which is just absolutely wild. Spurs fans, how do you feel about the situation today? Is it all for yours for the taking? Is this the time, as Jamie O'Hara says, to face Arsenal? And Arsenal fans, are you a little bit gutted after Newcastle couldn't get the win over City last night? 03717 223344 coming up next. We'll get into the relegation battle. Big points for West Ham and Leeds yesterday. 2 lost or 1 gained.
I've got to talk about Celtic. You know that the title. I don't. You've been away, right? The title's blown open now. Celtic favourites, Rangers second favourite, Hearts third.
Yeah.
And I've been whinging, right? And maybe I shouldn't because I don't go regular now. But I've been whinging about Celtic's lack of creation in midfield. It really annoyed me. I'm looking in the midfield saying, "Come on, we're better than that." Anyway, they got absolutely gubbed last night. But what I didn't know was, right from the first whistle, back to school. Good morning. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, former Villa striker Tony Cascarino, fan of James Blunt.
I love this song. It's a great song. It's a classic, isn't it?
He's good crack on social media.
Is he?
He's so funny on social media.
Yeah.
Guess the age.
Oh.
Stop. 38.
Oh, I don't know. You asked me. I don't know how. How long goes this record?
Like from 2008. 2009, maybe?
I would have gone. Well, he was very young when he sung it, so okay. 44.
He's 52,
Oh.
but I'm sure he'll be thrilled with you this morning. Now living his life in Ibiza, has a ski lift named after him, all the random things, of course. Happy birthday, James Blunt. As well as the story at the top, it's just as intriguing as it is at the bottom of the Premier League. Yesterday saw bottom teams scraping and scrapping for their lives once again. So Leeds picked up an impressive draw at Villa Park despite conceding an 88th minute equaliser to Tammy Abraham. Burnley did the opposite, scored a last-ditch equaliser at Stamford Bridge to claim a share of the spoils against 10-man Chelsea, and West Ham also picked up a credible but frustrating goalless draw at home to an in-form Bournemouth. So really changing the picture at the bottom of the table. Tom Clayton, who was at the game for us yesterday at West Ham, is with us now. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, you're a Leeds fan.
Yeah.
Let's go to the West Ham game yesterday against Bournemouth. Not a lot happening in that game.
It was, I think during one of my reports, I said we're having a competition between two sides who want to play the slowest game of football, because coming out of the half-time break, both sides were quite happy to sit back, not have too much pace into the game, allow things to develop. It was only really when both sides made substitutions, when, for example, for Bournemouth, when Brooks and Christie came on around the 60-minute mark, that's when they started really pressing forward. The game opened up. Callum Wilson came on for West Ham as well. He looks like a live wire. I have to say, the West Ham front line looks really impressive in its current guise, with Castellanos up top and then Bowen and Somerville. I mean, Somerville's in great
Somerville's
form.
unreal.
Yeah.
Well, as a Leeds fan, you would have seen a lot of him.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that he hadn't played particularly that well for West Ham when he first joined, or...?
I think I kind of was, because I saw what he did at Leeds when he first broke into the team in the Premier League under Jesse Marsh, and I thought he was still pretty impressive there, even when he was being told to play a game that he wasn't particularly, that wasn't his game, to play a bit more narrow, a bit more direct towards goal. I thought he was allowed to flourish under the early days of Daniel Farke. In the Championship, it works out really well. He looks good whenever they played in the Cup against the Premier League teams. And then when he went to West Ham, it was kind of like, well, he wasn't, under Graham Potter, he wasn't really being allowed the space and allowed the freedom that he would normally be afforded. And I think under Nuno, since he's been able to bring in a striker and he's been able to genuinely be a left winger, which is what he is, he's been able to flourish under that position. And I think he just looks, he's got a whole breath of fresh air in terms of his confidence, his ability. I think the manager shows a lot of confidence in those players as well. And speaking to Nuno at full time yesterday, he was like, look, all of these transformations are not me. This is the whole coaching staff. I think he has to take a lot of credit, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, Shebahn, I was just going to add to that Nuno was quite positive afterwards, even though it was a draw and where they are in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And the gap is 2 points to Forest, who I mean, had they won that game, West Ham, they could have been, by the end of the weekend, out of the bottom three for the first time since early December, which is crazy.
Well, they are in the bottom three. After the game, he spoke to Nuno and asked whether his side are ready for a relegation battle.
We are ready. We are competing well. We are improving. We are trying to make things click. Today, another clean sheet. This is the way we want to approach every game, being solid, because we realize with the quality and talented players that we have, we always can create danger. So we believe we are working very hard. The boys are working very hard for it.
Tom, let's talk about Leeds. Great performance from them yesterday, nicking a point against Villa.
Yeah, and I think any Leeds fan at the start of the day would have said, if you'll get a point at Villa, you'll be absolutely thrilled. We'll bite your hand off at that. But then to say, I mean, I didn't get to see all of the game because obviously I was at West Ham. We didn't have monitors showing the game. But to say that they were disappointed, Daniel Farke was disappointed at the result, a last-minute goal to equalise it. It almost feels disappointing not to have won at Villa Park, which it feels completely ridiculous to say. But I have to say, I'm so glad to see Anton Stach back in the team. First of all, the goal he scored was absolutely phenomenal. His third free kick goal of the season.
That's crazy, isn't it?
He's been brilliant. Yeah, he's been one of the best signings of the summer. And you know what? When he was brought in, there were a few whispers, and I'm not going to draw the comparison myself, but there were some people saying he was the German Declan Rice. They have a very similar game. They have a very similar delivery because he puts in, despite the fact that he's 6'6" and would be a prime candidate to get in the box, his ball delivery is fantastic. And then obviously scoring.
Good touch for a big man.
Good touch for a big man, yeah, exactly. So it's interesting to see if he's picked up by the German team over the summer as well.
We'll wait and see. Daniel Farke, we heard from him after the game. He was very proud of his team.
Yes, not frustrated, of course. In the first moment, once you concede so late, you're a bit disappointed because you had a chance also to score the second goal and the goal was avoidable. But I'm proud of my Warriors. Today, another emphatic away performance. I think well-deserved point, and you can't complain too much if you travel away as a promoted side from a side who's in the title race in the Premier League, and you travel away with 1 point. It's definitely a good point, and pretty happy, and just compliments for my players.
So let's just focus now on Forest, because they're in action today against Liverpool. Everyone involved who aren't Forest fans will be supporting Liverpool today, right?
Well, I don't know. It's a huge game, for Forest to take on Liverpool. Liverpool have had a week where they can prepare. I think it was important that Salah's got back to his best. He's not there, but he's improved. I was looking at Mo Salah's numbers up until how many goals he'd scored last season. He'd had 29 by mid-February. 29 goals. This year he's got 8 for Liverpool. Wow. So if you look at the drop-off of Salah, there's blatant evidence of data of, say, from the 14th or the mid-February now. Oh, well, we're coming towards the end of it, but his goal return compared to last season is literally a quarter.
A little bit different. Tom Clayton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have yourself a great day. You're back with us with the news a little bit later on. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss that draw at Stamford Bridge yesterday, another sending off for Chelsea, and we'll get the unsavoury aftermath and what's to come next.
Do you doubt that Jermaine can take Moses Atoma into the later rounds?
I think he's going to get knocked out. I do. I think I just know. And by the way, saying someone's going to get knocked out is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting Jermaine. I'm looking at the fight, looking at Moses Atoma, looking at what I've seen from Jermaine. And I think that ideally, I don't want to see an early fight. I want to see a good fight. I want to see Jermaine stick it on Moses Atoma. I want to see a good fight. And ultimately, we have an enjoyable evening watching two good fighters put something out. But I think Moses, I don't think he's been in with someone as quick and as...
Good morning. Hope you're having a good Sunday. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn and Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines: Portsmouth that moved 6 points clear of the Championship relegation zone after a 3-1 victory over Millwall at the Den. You're not happy chappy about that, are you?
I was surprised. I obviously didn't see the game, but surprised. I thought Millwall had been on a really good run. A bit of a kick in the teeth for them this weekend. Yeah. But fair play to Portsmouth.
In other news, Rory McIlroy lies 6 shots off the lead after Jacob Bridgman's 7 under par 64 cemented his place at the top of the leaderboard round after round 3 of the Genesis Invitational. And Ireland kept alive their Six Nations title bid with a record 42-21 away win over England at the Allianz Stadium yesterday. England head coach Steve Borthwick spoke after the game, saying about their current situation.
2 weeks ago, people were talking about us being 12 wins on the bounce, and people were saying all kinds of positive things about this team, and they weren't. Not all of them were true. And then people will be saying right now, after 2 losses, people will be saying other things about this team, and they won't all be true either. The truth will be somewhere in the middle, where we're a team that's got plenty of work to do. We know that. I've always said that. Has lots of growth in it, and ultimately now is in the last 2 weeks has played against 2 high quality teams, and they've been better than us.
Yeah, that was another disappointment for them yesterday, wasn't it, Cass? I mean, bit of a nightmare.
I caught the early stages. Ireland come out of the blocks like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And Andy Farrell's done an amazing job. You know, his team had been weakened. They've had quite a number of issues, but large part of their team is the Leinster boys. And I was just amazed how quickly Ireland got a big lead and made it really difficult from England for the probably first 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, you take his point as well, because only recently we were talking about how poor England had been and how they had a long way to go. Yeah. Yet when the Six Nations was on the horizon, even here in talkSPORT, you're tuning in to hear that they're favourites for the Six Nations for the first time in 6 years. And it's like, well, actually, they've got a lot of catching up to do. They're very much so improved.
Well, you take what we just heard there from the England coach, is, like a few weeks ago, England battered Wales. Now, Wales are bottom of the group, and they've then faced Scotland, got beat in the Calcutta Cup, and then lost to Ireland, obviously yesterday at home. And it was a surprise, because it's the type of performance that when you get beat like that, and we go back to senior players again, it's one of the headlines, it can end careers, this sort of performance.
Mm-hmm. Ellis Genge apologised.
As an international.
To the fans yesterday, saying so. Again, I don't think you need to apologise. But yeah, not a good enough performance, but still there's been improvements in what
Ireland were really good.
Excellent.
Really good first, especially first half.
Scotland also got the win over Wales. That ended 26-23. We've got France, Italy today at 3:10. All the updates here on talkSPORT. Let's focus back on the football. Chelsea-Burnley yesterday. A tough one to take for Chelsea. They were 1-0 up, cruising against Burnley. Went down to 10 through Wesley Fofana's red card. And then Fleming, terrific header, equalised things for Burnley. After the game, Chelsea boss Liam Rosenior said his side were far too comfortable.
After the first goal, we were happy just to maintain possession and not be ruthless. And you need to be ruthless in this league, because if you don't defend set plays well, which we haven't, then you get punished. And that's something that's really, really frustrating about today's performance.
Good week for Burnley.
Yeah, and Scotty Parker brought in Ward Prowse. He's come into the team, and certainly his deliveries yesterday caused Chelsea problems. Look, it's a weird scenario. Chelsea score after 4 minutes, Shebahn, yesterday. Okay, go 1-0 up, and as a player, sometimes you think, well, how many today? How many is it going to be? And they've totally lost their way during the course of that game. And look, they were 2-0 up against Leeds. Leeds pegged them back to 2-2. He's probably getting a bit sick in the gut about what's happening, what he's witnessing, because he knows Chelsea are way better than that. I've said all along, Chelsea are a really good side, but just don't do 90 minutes or 70-minute football where they're really good for long periods. They have these spells of looking really, really dangerous, but don't do it over long periods in games, and they pay a price for it.
Yeah. Now kind of looking like maybe they won't make those Champions League places.
Well,
obviously, there's still a long way to go, but
yeah, Liverpool got a win today, and Chelsea will be just still above Liverpool on goal difference. I mean, Liverpool would have to win in an incredible scoreline, but they won't be. They'll still be just behind on goal difference if they win at Forest today. But they can't afford these type of results because Manchester United have come back in the frame in recent weeks, and Villa have a gap on them. And Villa are not playing quite as well as they were playing probably sort of a month ago.
Missing big players, right?
Yeah, and they brought in Tammy Abrahams. He scored a couple of goals, and now he's got a choice. Does he play Watkins or Abrahams? All of this sort of scenarios are going to happen.
Just looking around online, there was a bit of frustration over Liam Rosenior taking off Cole Palmer. That's when things seemed to change for Chelsea. Is that the right decision?
Yeah, well, in hindsight, no. Cole Palmer's a player that can carry the ball, can keep the ball, and he had a couple of chances in the game. He didn't take them. I still think the heart of the defence is a massive problem for Chelsea. And I know Fofana got sent off, but it's always been the area that I feel that they suffer the most in. And until they resolve that, and they have, by the way, had a lot of centre-halves come into that football club and young lads that are promising players. But Shalabar's been there, Badishil's been there, Fofana. I just feel they really need... And Colwell's obviously been injured for a long period. They have to resolve that next season. This summer, that's one of the priorities for Chelsea.
So they've had 9 sending-offs this season. They've also thrown away 17 points from winning positions, which is a high for them this season. How important is it to stop getting sending offs? I mean, it's easy. But that's a lot. I mean, I know Enzo counts as one of them.
Okay, look, the modern game, it's very easy to get sent off in comparison to years gone by. The game has been sanitised, as in what red cards are. And look, the first incident is a yellow card. I don't doubt that for Fofana. The second one, he's tackled. You can see it's as soon as he makes the tackle, it goes to. You're seeing it in slow motion. You know he's going. So it's tough. The strange thing is that Pedro, who's got 7 in 9, and on his latest run, has been getting goals for fun of late. So, they've got a goal scorer who's been getting goals regularly, and they're still not getting points over the line. They're paying a price, and sending offs don't help you because, like I said earlier, when you got the North London derby today, is one thing that's really important in games like this is you keep your head and you don't make reckless challenges because it's so easy in the modern game to go to 10 men.
Yeah, I was listening to Scott Minto yesterday at the bridge with Sam Ellard, and obviously Wesley Fofana let the team down yesterday in getting that second yellow and going off. Now, the aftermath gets a hell of a lot worse because what happened this week with Vinicius Jr. and the alleged racial incident that happened in the Champions League this week, Chelsea have now issued a statement, and Wesley Fofana's put on his Instagram story a number of racist messages that he's received in that sending off. Lots of emojis that have come to him of monkeys, lots of really aggressive, horrid messages, and all targeting him for the colour of his skin. Burnley have also said that Hannibal Mabry has suffered horrific abuse online since the 1-1 draw at Chelsea. Still happening, Cass. Still happening.
It ain't going away until you catch individuals, because let's face it, you have to go after the people that are doing it, and it becomes a general issue. And to me, it's once you get to the people, the culprits, and you get them to answer what they've been accused or what they've done, then you're not going to find a solution, because once people get called out on it, I mean, there's the Liverpool fan, isn't there, who had an issue early on in the season. That's sort of in the process as well. Look, you've got to identify people. You've got to call them out. Because you can't continue just to keep going, well, it won't happen next weekend and we'll be fine. It's becoming too regular, not just in the UK, all over. This happens in France quite often as well, and other countries. Many countries this happens in sport.
Yeah, it's happening on the pitch, it's happening off the pitch, it's happening on social media. And that's the thing, by sending a message like that, you should be accountable. All social media now should just be governed and have an identification. Like, I don't understand why they've not managed that, because if you were to apply now for say you were on social media to get a blue tick, which makes you like a verified person, you have to submit identification.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas any Tom, Dick or Harry can then start an Instagram page and go and say what they want. It could be one person with multiple accounts completely targeting Wesley Fofana or Hannibal Mabry. Hannibal Mabry's been through it as well. You know, this isn't the first time he's experienced this. He's had it on the pitch.
Well, there could also be an individual that has multiple targets. You know, just opens different accounts, and now it's a minefield. I'm not a great social media person, as you know. I don't do any of the Instagram, Facebook. I don't do any of that. But it's something that we need to come to terms with, and I'm sure they've got the tools at their disposal to find people.
Yeah, but when it is happening on the pitch, it's happened on the reportedly, allegedly happened on the pitch this week. You know, it's happened on the pitch with Mabry before last season. You know, so people will then be fueled to go on. I mean, actually, they have to set more of an example with the players on the pitch as well. You know, and also with these Instagram accounts or Twitter accounts, whoever's doing it, you know, make sure that I don't know how the social media accounts are still getting away with this, that we know who the people are. You know, they have to submit that identification. I don't understand what's so hard about that.
No, it sounds very simple and easy, but it seemingly is more complicated.
And it'll show that sometimes those people at the top in charge of that are probably white people.
See,
they're absolutely clueless about what.
On Shebahn, and one thing that's quite important is that clubs make massive efforts to try, and they obviously, if you have 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 people in a stadium, the club take as much responsibility as they can. But if one individual decides to go and say something, shout out something, what can the club do about them apart from banning them? But first of all, we've got to catch them. You know, but clubs are very upfront about this sort of behaviour. They do jump all over it and say if we find these culprits, they are getting a ban.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really feel like the clubs make a massive effort. They are involved in trying to improve.
I agree with you. I think the clubs are obviously doing all they can do. Social media isn't. You know, abuse is not going to go away.
No.
And that there are filters and stuff you can set so that people shouldn't be able to receive words or messages or emojis or anything like that. Funnily enough, I was with Leanne Sanderson the other night working, and we were talking about the abuse that, you know, we receive, and Leanne being a black woman, she talks about some of the things that she gets sent, and she said, is there any way you'd be able to set a filter on my Instagram that stops me getting gorilla emojis?
Yeah.
And I was like, are you getting that, Leanne? She's like, all the time, every day.
Yeah, I don't understand people's mentality to do things like that. I just don't.
Yeah, it's just evil. It's evil.
It's just weird that
yeah.
you think that way.
Yeah, and we can all sit here in our right minds and say that. Some people are genuinely not well if they think that way. One thing that Wesley Fofana and Hannibal Mabry can know this morning is that we, the good people, all stand with them, and this is completely unacceptable, and hopefully we will see change. We need to see change on the pitch, clearly, as well as off the pitch. But the social media accounts need to get themselves in order now, and these companies get themselves checked, because we feel the club are doing everything, the players are doing everything, people are doing nothing wrong at times, but you're going to be subjected to abuse because of the colour of your skin. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Especially that we're in 2026.
I know.
It's like, wow.
I know. Especially this last week.
Yeah, it's been a bad week.
It's dark stuff, yeah. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll get into today's back pages.
They've changed the manager, which is what the fans wanted. I was at their last home game against Newcastle United, and it just felt like the players were completely like, on the floor, just didn't have the answers, didn't look interested or committed to the manager's plan. How will it be different under Eigor Tudor, and has he had enough time to work with his players, Crook?
I'm intrigued by this appointment because obviously one of the main factors is he's proven.
How are you this morning? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn alongside Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines this morning: Brisbane's Rink were unable to end a 102-year wait for a men's Winter Olympic curling gold. Canada denied Team GB of a fourth gold medal of this year's games. We're going to get into the curling chat a little bit later on. The very special guest on the show.
Right, good.
I think curling looks like really cool to do now. Everyone's
it's been cool. Do you know what? Every time the Winter Olympics come on, everyone talks about how cool the curling is. Then it disappears for another number of years again until we see it the next time.
Well,
that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it'd be different from this games, you wonder.
Well,
Vinicius Jr. ended an emotional week with his fifth goal in 4 games, but was unable to prevent Real Madrid losing to Osasuna and handing Barcelona the initiative in the La Liga title race. I can't read today. I need new lenses. These are about 4 weeks old.
Are they?
They may as well not be in my eyes. Honestly, should just wing it. Okay, time now for this.
Longing for company
It's starting at different points to the music, this song. It's trying to surprise us every time it comes in.
Yeah. What's your name again?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that.
Does anyone call you Samuel?
My mum said
your mum,
occasionally.
yeah.
And
We were discussing that yesterday. We wondered if anyone called you Samuel.
Oh, really? Were you?
Yeah.
The sort of thing you talk about in your...
We were talking about it in the break.
Oh, right, yeah.
See, no one calls me Anthony.
And then he called you every name under the sun, and I was like, that's not
bit
fair.
Yeah, you haven't got a name that can be short. Well, no, your name can be shortened to Shebs, but that's more of a nickname.
Yeah. I get called Shebs. Yeah, no, Shebann's a weird one, isn't it?
I would never call you Shebs.
Why not?
I just doesn't feel natural.
Okay. I'd never call you Anthony. I didn't actually know.
No one calls me Anthony. That's my name though.
Have you ever been called Anthony? Ever?
No, by no one. My mum always calls me Tony.
Really? Yeah.
So why did she make that decision in the first place?
I don't know, but my middle name was even more controversial because I'm sorry, I apologise if someone's got this name, but I hate my middle name, Guy.
That's a great name.
I don't like it.
Anthony Guy.
I don't know why. I just
Anthony
Penny
Guy.
for the guy. Like your transfer fees, Cass.
I like it. I like your middle name.
Yeah.
Other Sam who works on this show, Sam
Listen, you have to be called Sam to get a job at talkSPORT.
I know, that's right.
Sam or Joe?
He's just a Sam. He's not a Samuel.
Oh.
Yeah, which I didn't think was really a thing, but
So down with the
apparently
kids.
it is. Yeah, there you go, you see.
Samuel.
Let's talk about Raheem Sterling, shall we? Because he's in the
yes.
papers this morning. Very interesting. Dan King writing about him in The Sun. It's 273 days since Raheem Sterling kicked a ball in anger, but after all the stress and disappointment of his time at Chelsea, the ex-Liverpool and Man City star is set to restart his competitive football career with Feyenoord. Sterling has had plenty of time, 39 weeks since playing the final game of his loan spell with Arsenal, to prepare for this moment. Apparently, clubs across the continent made inquiries about him, but the forward was willing to consider a proposal from Rotterdam or anywhere from Liverpool or Rome, which, of course, is quoting the business out. Very good, very good. That would offer a genuine fresh start. Everton City rivals, when the winger plied his trade at Anfield, showed the most interest among the English clubs, but he opted for Holland's second city, the Netherlands, really, we should call them, Rotterdam and Feyenoord. So for the former England star, a club named Telstar will be his first opponent if he comes off the bench for his Eredivisie debut today. And although expectations have to be kept in check after such a long layoff, he will be determined to make his mark. Feyenoord boss Robin van Persie keen to stress he will not demand too much too soon from his fellow Premier League icon. He said, "It's going responsibly and calmly. We need to discuss whether all worlds will come together." So this is a good for Raheem Sterling, isn't it, too? It seems really unfair to talk about Raheem Sterling rebuilding his career, but there's no doubt, Cass, that he had a very difficult spell, didn't he, when he was at Chelsea, and also the loan spell at Arsenal. So it's a chance for him to hopefully, find some confidence and get a smile back on his face.
Well, he come into the game really with Liverpool, didn't he, as a shining star at a very young age. He won a hell of a lot in his career. He moved from Liverpool to City to Chelsea. It didn't work out. And Raheem just needs to be playing football again because he's a winger that relies on that extra bit of edge. All wingers must have edge. And it's probably the position, out of all the positions, is the wing back come winger who, if they lose half a yard, they really suffer. I mean, Ryan Giggs reinvented himself, but he's one of very few that do that. Once wingers, you lose, half a yard, you've got to be a slightly different type of player.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at his record, Shebahn, he's 339 games for Man City, 131 goals. He also 82 games for England, 20 goals. He's won 4 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 5 League Cups, and a Community Shield. We sleep on him a bit, don't we, Raheem Sterling? And I don't want to say we denigrate his achievements, but we maybe forget about just how good and talented a player he is and what he's achieved in the game.
I think English people do forget about him, kind of thing. Well, if you're not seeing him week in, week out, then maybe that's why. But he was your man, for a long, long period of time. Maybe there was the question marks around the press, should he have been starting for England? What tournament was that? Was that the last World Cup in Qatar? And then, or was that the Euros?
He was in Qatar, so...
and he's like, why do I always have to defend my place, kind of thing? Yeah. At the time, he was kind of peak Raheem Sterling. Yeah. So maybe he has lost a yard. Maybe he is off.
Well, look,
but this is a chance to him to fall in love with football again, and that's important for a player.
31, I think,
31. So he's still got a bit. I mean, I say he lost half a yard. Look, you lose half a yard by not even playing. He kept getting left out, didn't he, and not playing. You're going to lose your little bit of extra speed. Let's hope he can regain his career.
Feyenoord's an amazing club. He'll probably fall in love with the fan base if he does.
But they're not going to win the league because PSV are going to win it there this year. They're comfortably ahead. So he's
good club though, Feyenoord.
Yeah, great club. Yeah, one of the great Dutch clubs.
And Van Persie says he thinks he's the biggest signing in Dutch history, which is very interesting, isn't it? Oh. So I mean, that's quite a statement. So let's hope that he can, live up to expectation. But not just that, but that he can, enjoy himself again.
Good luck to him.
Good luck to him. Yeah, absolutely. Now, interesting piece in the Telegraph this morning from Slaven Bilic. Why my fellow Croatian will turn things around. He's talking about Eigor Tudor at Spurs.
Yes.
Yeah, I read this morning.
Exciting, this, isn't it? Now, today, we're all counting down the minutes until the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was driving when the news broke that Tottenham Hotspur were going to appoint Eigor Tudor. That's Slaven Bilic, not me. We are close. We are both from Split. We go back many years, and so I called him, and he was already at the airport. I then got a message asking if I could do a Zoom call because you know him, and people don't know him in England. I said, no, I don't want to get involved, although, as I say, we're really good friends. But then, last week, I read so much negativity. I got so annoyed, I called up and said, can I do it? Because for me, it was, wow, what a reaction. It's been total negativity about his appointment, which has shocked me. It's been far too much. So let me tell you about him, he says. He played for Hajduk Split. Then Juventus, was a top player. Now he's my favourite Croatian coach. And he says if you look at his last 3 jobs, Marseille, Lazio and Juventus, big clubs, all very difficult. And something we've joked about, he often picks difficult clubs, PAOK in Greece, Galatasaray, Udinese. He saved twice. He says he knows what the owner can be like, having worked for him at Watford. That's Pozzo. He said he joked about it when we had a coffee a while ago. He said maybe it would be better if I took an easier club next time, a more stable club. Well... Yeah. He's picked Spurs, so I'm not quite sure that he's necessarily fallen into that category.
Challenge this guy. Yeah.
I tell you what he did do when he went to Marseille. Payet was a big star in Marseille. Done brilliantly well. He left him out, dropped him nearly immediately because he didn't press as a centre forward. So he wants his centre forward to start the pressing. So any centre forward that's not going to move his backside in. So Richarlison or whether it's Solanke, he's going to want the one that works really hard in that position. And he's taken on some real, firefighter, type of jobs.
Absolutely.
Lazio, Marseille, Juventus. I mean, Juventus, the club now, is really not the Juventus of sort of a few decades ago. Fair play to him. And he's taken on a really tricky job in Spurs. But he done well at Marseille. He done really, really well, as in what he achieved, but he doesn't stay very long. That's one of the issues, isn't it?
Do you think, though, Cass, that because he has got such good experience of transforming fortunes at very short notice, sort of, drop of a hat kind of thing at other clubs, that his lack of Premier League experience is sort of negated by that, in the sense that he knows how to turn clubs around, so does it really matter that he's not managing the Premier League?
I'm always a bit conscious of the Premier League experience because I feel like if you have a style of play and it works, it'll work anywhere. If it works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen people like Mourinho come to England, and Antonio Conte. They had their styles that could work. So I don't see it as the biggest issue.
What is his style? What's this tradition?
Well, it's a very hard pressing from the front.
Like him.
And it's high-tempo football. He demands a hell of a lot from his team.
Which, to be fair, worked
this
for
Tottenham
Ange at
team-
Spurs for a while.
Again, I mean, I was a little bit more critical of Ange because I thought it was literally gun-ho, sometimes too gun-ho. He does it with organisation of a setup. And the setup is to press hard and fast and try and get the ball back in good areas, but not be wasteful. Where Ange's team, I always felt, you know, going to concede goals at an alarming rate, which they did. I don't think Igor's team will do that.
Interesting. Either way, it's a fascinating game today. I mean, what a game to have. A North London derby with Arsenal's current predicament being top of the league. Now Man City closing the gap. Spurs needing a relegation kind of push. I don't think they'll get relegated, but what an amazing...
What do we all think of it? Do you think this has got the most on the game than the North London derby's had for a long time?
Yeah.
It's funny because we seem to say that every year but I can't remember a game when like even a draw has such big ramifications.
Yeah.
Because if Arsenal drop 2 points today, that's huge, isn't it?
But if Spurs lose today and Forest go above them, say they get a win against Liverpool, that's it. They're a point away from the relegation.
Yeah, and all of a sudden...
No, it feels like... I'm agree with you because we do talk about... We always big up, you know, derbies or big games like North London derby. But today feels extra.
Doesn't it?
It just does for so many outcomes. There's so many scenarios today.
And I just think that Spurs they cannot put in the limp display they put in at the Emirates. I know they've got a different manager here, but Spurs fans, rightly, I think, after the tosh they've watched all season, will be demanding something from their team today, won't they?
Yeah, it will definitely be a fired up atmosphere for that for sure in the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think the fans will be lacking any energy today.
All of the updates here on Game Day Live on talkSPORT. Kick off at 4:30. Sam, Stephen, Samuel, thank you very much for your time. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast. Coming up for you next, we'll build up to today's footy.
But when you hear these comments that he's come out with now, to say he cannot get the best out of the players that have come in, if that those words just come out of his mouth, then as an owner, you've got no choice now. You have to say, like, okay, he's coming out now publicly and saying he can't get the best out of top players as well, by the way. Brendan Johnson is a very good player. Okay, you can't get the best out
Is
of
he
him.
daring the board to sack him?
It sounds
100%.
It sounds like it. And by the way, I know that they missed out on Dwight McNeil. That deal didn't quite get over the line on deadline day.
What's your club or country's sliding doors moment? Its meaning originating from the 1998 rom-com of the same name, a sliding doors moment in football terms is simply a question of what might have been. An incident in a game where, had it gone the other way, would have altered history. For example, say John Terry had scored that penalty in Moscow in 2008. Chelsea would have been European champions and Avram Grant would have the biggest medal in continental club football to his name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeat in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn, alongside Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
So Manchester City kept up the pressure on first place Arsenal with a win against Newcastle, live here on talkSPORT.
Scoops across towards the far post. O'Reilly is there and he heads it across the goalkeeper and into the net. It's a super move and Haaland comes up with an assist for O'Reilly.
Makes today's game all the more fascinating. We're going to break down all of yesterday's Premier League action, including Chelsea throwing away points late to Burnley at Stamford Bridge.
Burnley have a corner. James Ward-Prowse whips it in, and Burnley equalise at Stamford Bridge. Fleming, the goal scorer. It's absolutely remarkable.
So let us know this morning, Chelsea fans, is a Champions League finish in your future? 03717 223344 81089 if you want to drop us a wee text message. And we're going to look ahead to more cracking football to come up for you today. It's the latest instalment of the North London Derby. Arsenal fans, are you feeling nervous ahead of this one?
They're our postcode rivals. We've never rivalled them for anything because they've never been up there since '61. So we shouldn't really be worried about them.
Oh, nice to hear an Arsenal fan with confidence this morning. 03717 223344 is the number to have your say. We'll round up the rest of Saturday's action, including up the road in Scotland, and look ahead to what's to come today. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. So my sister texted yesterday saying, rumour has it, you're making a Sunday roast today. This is what she does. I don't hear from her all week, and then it's like, rumour has it.
What, because you've got two sisters, the eldest or
the one in,
the twin?
The twin. She's in St Albans as well.
Right.
But then Jamie said he's going to do an Irish stew.
Oh, yes. Do you know what
It's a great Sunday alternative, isn't it?
I do love a stew, but I love a stew with dumplings.
Oh.
And my mum used to make them. I mean, she doesn't now because she's not of great health, but she used to make dumplings, and I love dumplings.
Sorry, you put the stew in the dumpling?
Oh, no, the dumpling goes in the stew.
Dumplings going in the stew.
Yeah, you can have dumplings in it.
Question, what is a dumpling? Like, as in, is it like what's in the dumpling?
Well, it's like doughy, isn't it? It's a bit like bread. I mean, I wouldn't know the ingredients exact, but it's very soft and it feels like doughy. You know, they're so tasty.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
someone will have to educate you on
Asian
what is
dumplings.
Exactly
That's what I'm
dumpling.
thinking. Like
Oh no, not like they. No. These are the dumplings are different. They're not really as fashionable as they once were.
Yeah,
they were really popular for a time.
Interesting.
But my mum used to make them. I used to love dumplings.
Jamie does the Irish stew where he gets the braised beef and he'll put it in
Yeah.
a slow cooker for about 7 hours today. So
Get him to put some dumplings in it.
okay, I'll make that request.
Right? Just
Yeah.
say to him, and then you try them and tell me what you think. Because they are perfect with stew and gravy sort of types, you know, stewy.
So rich.
Sauce. Yeah, rich sauce.
Are you having a roast? What's your vibe today?
I don't know yet. I'm not
Dumplings?
sure.
Hi, Joe. Any chance?
That'd be the 8th wonder of the world if Joe was going to do dumplings. No.
Oh, I really can't wait for my dinner. I'm salivating at the thought. That's disgusting. Let's move on. Truro versus Gateshead. Let's get into that yesterday. And we can round up all the latest National League action with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Home and away on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
We can speak to talkSPORT reporter, West Ham fan and TikTok content creator of the ages, Moose Ian Abrahams. Moose, are you a dumplings kind of guy?
I don't know, but I might pop in on the way home to sample some.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've had a dumpling. I'm more of the Asian dumplings.
Yeah, no, nothing like them.
Moose, I know I've been commenting on your Instagram, but your content is so good. And you know, people really try to get good content, but you're in the right place with the right people, asking the right questions. I love your TikTok.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'll put up obviously a story later on my trip to Truro and back, which for me was only 600-mile round trip, but for the Gateshead fans, nearly 930-mile round trip, and to be fair, it's the longest trip in football history in the top 5 tiers of English football, and 94 fans made the journey yesterday from Gateshead to Truro. So fair play to them, because when I spoke to the team when they arrived, they left on Thursday. They didn't just get there yesterday; they actually stayed over the night before.
Was it a coach? Did they go train, coach, or plane?
No, they went on just an ordinary coach. Now, you know, people think of like footballers travelling in luxury and having everything done for them. They just went on a normal coach. It's incredible to think, actually. It took over 9 hours, apparently, for the coach to get from Gateshead down to where they stayed.
So Abe, just a quick one on that.
Yeah.
So no beds on the coach. This is all just seats.
Yeah. After the game, I spoke to a couple of the players. Let's hear now from Harry Chapman. He scored both goals yesterday. The second goal, by the way, is magnificent. If this goal had been scored in the Premier League, and we will be waxing lyrical about it on talkSPORT. It will be shown ad infinitum. Basically, picks up the ball on the left-hand side, cuts in towards the edge of the penalty area, and from the edge of the D, fires one into the bottom corner. It's brilliant, especially when you consider that Gateshead, up until yesterday's win, were bottom of the National League. Anyway, so I spoke to him afterwards, and as you'll hear now, I asked him how he was going to spend the 9-hour journey back to Gateshead on the coach.
What do you do for, 8-9 hours on the coach? Sleeping for a lot of it?
No, particularly. I play cards.
For 8 or 9 hours?
Yeah. We came down Thursday night and I went to bed Thursday night. I could just see aces, kings, jacks all day. We played for 9 hours straight.
That's a lot of cards, pal.
It's a lot of cards, but we managed to play games that take like over an hour a game, so it kind of breaks it down a little bit.
I hope I never fly to America or somewhere with you. I mean, you'll be playing cards, I just want to watch a movie.
Yeah, well, some boys watch a movie, some boys listen to music, some boys just chat, laugh, joke. Like I say, we play cards.
Safe trip back.
Thank you very much.
I like
Tony.
Yes.
Tony, you play poker.
Yeah.
Right? You're brilliant at poker. You and Teddy Sheringham are experts at it. But could you honestly, if me and Shebahn sat down for the next 9 hours, could you really honestly play poker with us for 9 hours?
Yes.
Really?
And it'll fly.
It wouldn't fly.
Honestly, the time would fly. That's why I was laughing when you said that just a normal coach. Now I've gone, they've got a table on their coach. Because I know if they're playing cards, they need a table.
This is true. Unless they're kneeling on the seats and looking behind them.
No,
Old school.
no, Shebahn. There's many games you can play. A fashionable game is hearts. We used to all play hearts, and anyone who knows cards, it's a really good game with 4 people. You can play a London game, Kaluki. That's without all the poker and all the other sort of scenario.
Do you think they play Scabby Queen? That's elite. That's an elite card game.
So the Scabby Queen is which queen?
The Queen of Hearts. So they take all the queens out of the pile, but keep the Queen of Hearts in there.
You know the death card?
What's the death card?
Queen of Spades.
Right, I didn't know that. But I mean, I'm very, very basic at cards. But actually, thinking back to it, we passed the hours on holiday in Zante last year playing Scabby Queen. Even the kids loved it.
I know Snap, by the way.
Oh, Snap's good. Snap's a good shout.
I sort of guessed that you'd say that.
But the other thing is, which I just couldn't get my head around, because obviously I drove, and if I want to pull over and stretch my legs and what have you, get some fresh air, I can. But they have a toilet on the bus, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're doing the trip 9 hours non-stop. I mean,
no, they would have stopped, Sabes. I can't.
Would they?
Oh, absolutely. There's no way that a coach would just, the manager just turned around and said, "Look, we're going to stop. You'd have a cup of tea, or just have a walk and a stretch." There's no way he'd go to this 9 hours straight.
Well, I hope so, because I think otherwise being sat in the same seat for 9 hours, I think I end up.
The card school might have stayed on the bus while the others got off and got something in the shops. You say to them, "Can you get us a few bits? We're staying here. We're going to carry on."
How much money, by the way, could you lose in 9 hours?
Oh God! I can't.
Hey, look, they got a win. It was a big win.
Yeah, they
wasn't
did.
It?
Yeah, we had a Gateshead fan on yesterday on the show who had that kind of feeling. He was excited. He'd stopped in Bath to have an overnight in Bath on his way down there. But yeah, no, it's great for them to get the win, and a huge journey with that. Bit of reward at the end of it, Moose, even for you.
Can I also say that these sort of journeys are totally worthwhile? I mean, there's nowhere else I go normally to cover a football match whereby the following happened that happened to me all through yesterday. One, I got caught behind not one, but 2 tractors. I mean, can I just say that we are now in the 21st century, and maybe a tractor can go quicker than 1 mile an hour. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. Secondly, not one but 2 flooded roads. I mean, it's amazing to think that we've had so much rain in this country. But I mean, when I say flooded, I don't just mean like there was water on the road. I mean, seriously, you could only go through it like 1 or 2 miles an hour because the water was nearly up to sort of the top of the tyres. And the third thing was dense fog. Not once, not twice, but on 3 occasions, because especially when you get into Cornwall, it's actually quite hilly and you go up quite high. So I encountered all sorts of weather, and thanks to the 2 guys driving the tractor, because it took nearly half an hour for you to get off the road. So hopefully on the way back today, I won't encounter too many tractors.
So next week we can send you. Where can you go? Inverness, Stranraer, somewhere.
Yeah, do that drive.
Listen, I honestly, for talkSPORT management, I'm available everywhere. I mean, this is the second longest trip I've done, because obviously I drove to Prague a few years ago for the West Ham Conference League final. That took me a day to get there and a day to get back. It's taken me a day to get to Truro. It'll take me pretty much a day to get back from Truro. Anywhere, really, have car, we'll travel.
Yeah.
Well, Abe's, it sounds like your missus is quite happy if you... Where are you going, Abe's? Where's the furthest? Where are you going, babe?
Apparently she manages your diary as well. She's been the one talking to talkSPORT about where to send you. I hope you get your travel fee in there as well, Moose. Listen, we appreciate you coming on. Just remind everyone of the name of your TikTok channel, because it is worth checking out.
Broadcast Moose, and I will put something up later about my trip to Truro. I've got to say 2 things as well to finish with. First of all, I thought Rob Elliott and his players afterwards were magnificent in going up to the fans. We've seen recently, obviously, quite a lot of stuff on the media about players that don't go up to supporters. I mean, the players went up and signed autographs and had pictures taken.
Nice.
I mean, why wouldn't you with the 94? They probably knew them all by name. And thanks to everyone at Truro City Football Club, because they were brilliant to me yesterday as well. And especially Brian Chuff, the mascot, he was great.
Oh, lovely. Moose, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you getting up early for us after that day yesterday. Take care of yourself.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Anytime, no problem.
All the best. I keep going on about it, but here is the Moose's what?
Can I ask you a question? Which is the furthest football club in Scotland from here? So would it be Inverness, or is there a club beyond Inverness?
Got to be higher. Is that right?
I don't know. I would assumed Inverness would be the farthest.
Not great with geography. I'm not going to lie.
No, you know Scotland though.
What is the furthest point? Highest?
But I'm talking professional club. In Scotland, I'm pretty sure Inverness must be.
Let me have a wee look for you.
Listeners always get it.
Right, this is wrong. Broadwood Stadium. No, that's the highest ground. I'll have a look. Orkney FC.
They're not a professional club though, are they?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
I don't think they're in the league.
It's quite a position to put me in while we're live on air, Kaz.
Yeah. No, just what you might know. You are.
No, I don't know, Mars from Elbow. I've said it before. That was a look at this weekend's National League action. All thanks to Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Home and away on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Coming up for you next, we'll look back on a big night in the curling.
Mourinho, one of the best managers of our generation. But I'll tell you what, he's lost a lot of fans. He's lost a lot of neutral fans. And I just felt his comments were disgusting. For one, Vinicius Jr., if he wants to run to the corner flag and do a dance that a lot of Brazilian players do, Cunha danced when he scored against Arsenal, didn't receive racial abuse from anybody, any player. So Vinicius Jr. is allowed to dance. And also,
listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. OMG, the amount of messages about dumplings. And what was your question about the most
Northerly professional club
in Scotland?
In Scotland, yeah. I mean, I did say Inverness, didn't I? But I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. Good morning to Fraser. He says Ross County.
Ross County?
The highest club. He said it's disgraceful that you don't know that. I know, but listen.
Oh, you? That's okay.
If you said to me, point to Glasgow on the map, I'd be like...
Oh, that's quite easy.
I'm sure it is.
So where exactly is Ross County?
I don't know.
We'll have a look.
I ain't got scoops, pal. Wanted to Ali says Elgin City is the most northern professional team in Scotland.
Got a debate there then.
Elgin City, club I worked up there. That's from Jake, the Arsenal fan. It's not Ross County. Oh, they're all going at each other.
Now it's.
Look what you've started.
We need to phone a friend.
I've just texted Jamie saying any chance you can make dumplings for the stew today. The amount of you have said it's actually disgraceful and sacrilege that I'm having a stew without them.
No, it's fantastic with stew. Dumplings.
Okay, I've texted the husband.
And give it to your kids as well and just put it in and don't tell them. And they say what it is. Say it's a little bit like potato.
Because they're so blooming fussy at the moment. Like, if they ate a stew, I'd be thrilled. That'd be me. I'd be retired at mum. Like, I've nailed it, they've eaten a stew. What, any chance I can get some more garlic bread? Okay, why are we playing Down the Middle by Bing Crosby? Well, today is Anton Deck having a stroke of genius. They're set to present a new game show based on golf. You'll love this. A hole-in-one sees contestant take on a massive crazy golf course for money. I'm looking forward to that. Anything they do is just funny.
I mean, quizzes are everywhere, aren't they? I mean, if you're a person sits in sometimes and you have a day off and you're literally flooded with quizzes, aren't you, in the afternoons? And sort of early afternoon to right through to the end of the afternoon, you go from one quiz to another.
You know, like...
And they're very, very popular.
YouTube, like the younger generation now, they don't do, like... A lot of them won't do your... What's the shows you were watching, like soaps and stuff?
Right. EastEnders, Corrie, Emmerdale.
They'll do YouTube golf. Watches. I mean, I was up at Celtic the other week. Charlie Mulgrew's got a golf channel, and when it came to the auction, the amount of people who were bidding to just go for this round of golf because their golf, channel is so popular. So Ant and Deck probably onto something nice there, to be fair to them. Let's move on now. 102 years and counting. The wait for men's Olympic curling gold continues as Team Canada denied GB a fourth medal at Milan Cortina. Let's look back with one of the British curling performance directors, Dave Leith. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
Good morning. Good morning. Pretty well, thank you. How are you?
Good. You sound like you're high up in Scotland.
Yes, well, Edinburgh.
Okay, not that high up then.
We're trying to... Do you know, Dave, where Ross County is?
Is it Inverness, I think.
Yeah.
Inverness area.
Great. You're asking the rock. Apparently it's northwest.
There's two Scottish people and I don't
know. Sorry.
Sorry, David, put you on the spot there. You are here to talk about the curling.
Yes.
Unfortunate for GB yesterday against Canada.
Yeah, it was. And you could see from the boys' reaction how disappointed they were to come away with only the silver. But for us, it's just an enormous achievement to get to that standard where they can be competing for Olympic medals. And slight thing about curling is that when you get into the final, you kind of lose the gold. You don't really win the silver. But as I say, for us, it's still an enormous achievement. And for me, the probably the most successful Scottish curling team we've ever had.
Yeah. Dave, put me in my place here, because I said earlier, I love watching the curling, and I only see it in Winter Olympics, and then I see it in the next Olympics. Has it grown as a sport? Because I'm sure you're going to say, hey, by the way, you're so wrong. It really has grown because its popularity has just soared, because we only really see it in the Olympics in general, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. It definitely has grown an awful lot, and there's certainly plenty of places where you can watch curling pretty much from September all the way through to April. For example, we've got our Scottish Championships in Dumfries next week. There's then a series of World Championships still to play out, and there's a professional league in Canada as well called the Grand Slam and the Rock League. So there's plenty of curling out there to watch, that's for sure. And I think you probably saw how exciting it was, but for me, that's no different. It always is like that.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, what is it about curling that we all seem to fall in love with? Cass is right. I mean, when it's in Olympics, we really focus on it, and then it kind of starts to trend on social media this time. Even the Canadian guy getting into the swearing match kind of thing earlier on in the competition. A lot of people do really get invested in it.
Yeah, well, it's a drama of it, you know. And as I say, that to me, that's not exclusive to the Olympics. There's always drama, there's always tension, and there's always teams that are really fired up and competing for the top spot. I don't know. I think for me, it's just a sport that we just want to get more exposure to and get more kids playing, more people interested, because certainly the sort of excitement and all the things that you see, the more you learn about curling is the main thing. First time you watch it, it's maybe hard to figure out what's going on, but by the end of the Olympics, I think we've got a lot more experts in curling than we did 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's so tactical because, you've got obviously right in the middle of I'd say the ball, but it's probably not called that, but
stone.
Well, no, the stone, but where you're the target that you're actually trying to get it in. But it's so tactical of hitting other rocks that you can get placed and better and trying to get two when you need, you need to get a 2-0 win in that end because you have about, 9 ends?
Are you a commentator on the side for curling?
Is it 9 ends?
It's 10 ends at the Olympic Games. Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's 10 for the Olympics. Oh, I didn't know that. But I find it very tactical and technical.
It is. I mean, it's incredibly technical. Looks simple enough, but anybody that's come and given it a go for the first time realises it's actually quite difficult to slide the way that they do. It's just they're so good at it. It makes it look very easy. But ultimately, it's massively tactical, trying to outthink your opponents all the time. And last night, I mean, you think the last stone's the only one that matters, but frankly, every single stone in that match that we watched last night was absolutely critical. And the other thing is that the ice is it's a living, breathing thing. So the guys are incredibly good, incredibly experienced at kind of learning what's happening with the ice and how it's changing and seeing what's coming ahead of them and adapting to it. There's a lot to it, yeah.
If you want to laugh, Dave, go and check out the Open Goal guys, Si and Slaney, having a go at curling. It'll give you a giggle. Listen, looking ahead then, funding, etc. How do you move forward? How do you push towards the next Winter Olympics and hopefully get gold?
Well, we've always got teams competing at the top level, but we're lucky to have a programme where we've got a lot of athletes and a full pathway that comes up underneath it, both in Scotland with Scottish curling and British curling running a number of teams that are aiming for the next Olympics and the one after that, and in England as well. It's kind of a growing sport in England where we've got wheelchair athletes going to the Paralympics next week. So we're always pushing ahead for the next cycle, and we're very lucky to be well supported by UK Sport and the National Lottery. So we've got a great programme and lots of talent coming through. So we'll have different teams, not the Olympic teams, different teams going to the World Championships in a few weeks' time. And that's just another opportunity to give that experience to the teams that will be competing for that place next time around. So we're not going to stop. Silver medal, I think, is a great achievement. It's one medal out of 3 opportunities, which was essentially what we're after. But we're going to be fighting for it the next time, and hopefully we'll see more medals.
Well, listen, you've captured our attention, that's for sure. Dave Lee, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
British Curling Performance Director there, Dave Lee. We should have a go. We should find a way and have a go.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be quite fun doing it on ice skates, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, skates, because their footwear is...
We would break our bodies, I've no doubt. Yeah. Coming up for you next on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll look ahead to Everton versus Man United. It's live on talkSPORT for you tomorrow night.
There were reports that the night that Sean Dyche was sacked after that Wolves game, 4 or 5 senior players were called into Marinakis' boardroom and they essentially said, we're not loving this. And I don't like that. That feels unfair to someone like Sean Dyche. However, last night I think was great evidence because the players played with the reins off. They played with freedom. And I think it shows that how maybe unhappy some of those players were under Sean Dyche, the fact that they went to it.
Good morning. It's the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT with Shebahn Aherne and Tony Cascarino. The texts are amazing. Amazing today. Everyone having it out over what's the most north club in Scotland. Just because Cass decided to ask me that question live on air. I don't know the answer, but apparently it is Elgin.
Elgin City. Yeah.
Good morning to Darren. He says, Shebahn, you should know this. If you had a history GSE...
You should know about dumplings as well.
I don't know anything, but that's fine. I mean, tell me something I don't know. Hey! Yeah, thank you for all your messages. Elgin City are now on the map.
Yeah.
Completely. Some of your headlines this morning. Ryan Garcia dominated Mario Barrios in a brilliant showing to capture WBC welterweight title, Garcia's first at World Championship. Well done. Wigan Warriors cruise past Hull FC to claim a second successive win at the start of the 2026 Super League season. And it was a very busy day in the EFL. Here's how it all sounded for you on talkSPORT.
And boos at the Hawthorns as the final whistle blows. Another step towards the Premier League for Coventry, while West Bromwich champion are banging relegation trouble. It finishes West Brom 0, Coventry 2.
Watford 2, Derby 0. An excellent start for Ed Still in his first home match in charge, ending that 7-game run without a league victory.
Norwich 1, Birmingham 2. Birmingham up to 7th in the Championship table thanks to a third consecutive away win.
Here's the corner, left-footed, swung over, and in! And in from Callum Doyle! And Wrexham are in front, and it's Doyle with the header. Now O'Brien, in space is Broadhead, chance for Broadhead to seal it! Nathan Broadhead against his former side scores Wrexham's fifth. Full time at the racecourse ground, an absolute thriller and a feast of EFL football. It's finished Wrexham 5, Ipswich 3.
I was making the dinner in the kitchen. That sounded nuts, that Wrexham game. That was
absolutely. They've had a few. They had one against Sheffield United, didn't they? They won. I think that finished 5-3 as well.
Yeah.
They were behind in the game against Sheffield, and Phil Parkinson's doing an amazing job there. It really is. I mean, look, you can say he's had the money and the backing, everything, but he's still produced a team. He got in Kiefer Moore in there, Windass to come in from Sheffield Wednesday, and others. He's really done a terrific job.
West Brom, poor showing against Coventry. That was the live game over on talkSPORT 2. The fans booed off the winless manager, Eric Ramsey. Relegation certainly looks on the cards as well.
Yeah, it's. I said yesterday, West Brom's one of the strangest outcomes of a season they've had, because they've had a decent squad, and under Ryan Mason, unfortunately, it just got, as the months went by, it just every month felt it was going to get worse, and I can't believe that West Brom are in a position now just above the relegation zone at the moment. I don't know how that club has got there, because they can compete financially in wages and things like that compared to other Championships clubs, and some might argue, well, it's a bit tighter than it used to be, but they're still a big club, West Brom.
Should he be doing a better job?
It's hard to assess, because obviously he's come in and they haven't scored any goals, have they? And so the fans get frustrated immediately. And fans react. If we go back, I mean, I looked at something the other week, Shebahn, about managers in years gone by, in different decades. I'm going back to the sort of 30s and the 20s. And managers used to stay when they were relegated, and 10-year periods and all this at all different clubs, and there wasn't this obsession of just sacking people all the time. Now we've got in a world that it can go badly and can really change within a period of 2 months. Fans can be wanting a guy gone, and it feels like your flavour of the month, then you're gone. I think management, and I've said this numerous times, is as tough as it's ever been. All what you have to deal with.
Yeah, in whatever league you're in as well. In fact, you saw that.
Well, you're either good at your job or you're not, okay? And you can be really good and have success somewhere else and then go somewhere for whatever circumstances, it hasn't worked out. But it can be a problem within the club. Mm-hmm. Igor Tudor is a prime example of the clubs that, he's come to Tottenham, but everyone's looking, who's really this guy, this Croatian player, become manager. He had short spells at Marseille and Lazio and, Juventus. But if you look at the problems within some of them clubs have been suffering for quite a long time.
Yeah. I mean, he's taken on a right basket case there, but you wonder how he will get on. Listen, focusing then on the managers and fans clash. And I don't know if you've seen these clips of Jack Wilshere having the confrontation with the Luton fans following their draw at home with Burton. You can see Jack getting animated, going back at them, feeling the emotions. He's almost pulled away from the fans as well. What do you think when you see that?
Well, obviously, Jack's a Luton boy. So he's one of your own, if you like. And I know he spent all his career mainly at Arsenal. And he's as frustrated as probably the fans are. And he would know, when you come from a certain place, you would know Lutonian fans. You'd know them. Do you know what I mean? He'd know people he'd met along the way with Luton fans. So it's always a tough one to take when they turn on you. Mm-hmm. And it can turn really quickly. And I get his frustration. They've conceded really late in the game, literally in injury time, and they're leading 1-0. The fans have just lost it. He ends up getting angry as well. Unfortunately, Jack will find out really quickly that if you go back to the fans, and don't get me, I've done some things with fans as well, where when they've turned on me, and I've done my reaction to them that weren't correct at the time, because your emotion gets to you.
But why is it not correct? Well, I
just feel
I don't
like
have a problem with that.
You're a manager of a football club, and it ends up being you're meant to control yourself. Okay, you're meant to.
I suppose we haven't heard what's been shouted.
No, we don't know that, and it could be personal.
It could be personal. It could just be frustrating. It's not helping his situation. But I don't know about you. I quite like it when people chuck it back.
Yeah,
themselves.
I've done it myself, so I sort of say fair play to you.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture is that if that becomes a regular thing, it's impossible for him to keep his job at a football club, because then people above you will go, it's very toxic at this football club. And, and I've seen it at other football clubs that this happens. Toxicity spreads around and it becomes an issue, and there's hatred, and the fans don't like the players don't like the fans, and then the manager and all that comes into play. And then the owners at times, you just spreads like wildfire.
Okay,
so Jack has to be careful. I can get that he's vetting his anger back. If it is, and I'm only assuming that it might have been personal, he would have reacted.
Personally, I quite enjoy seeing that.
I know, people do.
From
I just think it's a really fine line of getting it right, and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If he walked off the pitch and they'd say, don't care, look, he didn't even come over and, this idea now everybody has to walk over to the fans and applaud them at every opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jurgen Klopp started that really of doing that every week with the Liverpool fans, and it's fine when you're winning games. It's fine when it's all going well. But when it goes badly and you're walking off and you're, I'm not so sure people want to walk towards the fans, because you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And people might say, well, you're going to get it, and it's right for you to get it.
Let's focus on today, live on talkSPORT 2 from midday. Sheffield United take on Sheffield Wednesday. Big day for your mate Chrissy Wilder.
Yeah, they've been doing all right. They've been doing good. It's a big game, and I don't know. Does this send Sheffield Wednesday down today?
Yeah, a win for Sheffield.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, it relegates them. So obviously he added pressure on that, and but he'll be focused on his team, because I was at Millwall when they drew 1-1. It was a really good game, but it could have gone either way. So Sheffield United, and if you look at the results they've had, because they started the season with literally, I don't think they won a game for 9. Their first victory, I've got a sneaky feeling, was Oxford away, but they had literally nothing on the board. Do you know Sheffield Wednesday were below, but were above Sheffield United for a period of time, as in points return. So I expect Sheffield to win, because obviously everyone knows what's happened at Sheffield Wednesday, the loss of players, and I'm sure they'll make a battle of it, but it's a really big ask for them.
I know, and it's a terrible situation for the Wednesday fans to be in, to see themselves maybe relegated at the hands of Sheffield United. It'll be live for you on talkSPORT 2 from 12 o'clock this afternoon. Swipe across, by the way, the talkSPORT app to talkSPORT 2 if you want to listen to that commentary. Also coming up tomorrow night, live here on talkSPORT, Everton take on Manchester United in the Premier League. 4 places between them in the Premier League table? A very important game for each side. And that race for European qualification. United are targeting a place in the Champions League following Michael Carrick's strong start to his interim period. We can hear from him now. He's been speaking ahead of the game about his latest challenge.
It's going to take a lot. I think it's going away to Everton. I know it's a new stadium, but historically it's always been tough. It's always been the atmosphere and the supporters that they create. I think it's always been one of the toughest ones that I've played away from home, so we're aware of that. And then trying to be our best way we can. I think we've got things to improve on, but we've got a good base and a good foundation moving forward. Good spirit. So we'll have to draw on pretty much all of that on Monday night.
Manchester United's head coach there, interim head coach Michael Carrick. He's getting a lot of praise for his style of coaching. Cass, what do you think he's getting so right?
Well, first of all, I think they've scored in every game under him, haven't they? And they look like they're going to score goals, and they play with purpose. They move the ball forward. I think he's done some very basic things.
Yeah, he's keeping it
effective.
Simple, but it's been so effective.
But simple, but has a massive effect on the team. And we've seen in the last, 5 games he's had, even the late goal at West Ham, where, it was a game they got something out of. So he's done a hell of a job, even though people will say into him, he's done one hell of a job, because it feels like the club's got back to some sort of normality of what's going on the pitch. And lots of United fans are really enjoying what they're watching. Getting the 3 goals at Arsenal, a game that was, everyone thought they were going to get beaten comfortably. The way they won it, a couple of great goals, Cunha's goal in it, and Durko's goal, two great strikes. They've done that, and obviously, it's a club that expectations and levels and standards are very high.
When it comes to coaching, and you look at Pep Guardiola and Unai Emery, fabulous managers, but they're very detail focused.
Yeah.
What kind of manager do you prefer, or was it based on the club and the situation they were in?
The ones that used to drive me mad, it's quite funny because I watch Unai Emery and he's been an amazing manager for Villa, but he literally kicks every ball. Mm-hmm. He's waving his arms at every movement, pointing for every pass where a player, and I used to find that frustrating as a player, because there's not many managers who now let the players play. They know their instructions, and there's certain things they can't do, or the manager doesn't want them to do, but you have the instructions, and then you play and shine in the way you play, especially technical players. I think it's very hard to be a number 10 in the modern game, because there's so much structure within a team that a number 10 is sort of given that. So look at Eze. Eze's a player that you feel like he just wants to play his game, and he's in a very structured side, as in Arsenal, and it doesn't quite fit yet. And yet he's a player that can find a pass in a moment of just seeing something. But if it breaks down, manager will take him off if it happens too often.
It's a bit like Jack Grealish at Man City.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're
structured, and you'd never seen him really as that player.
Well, Jack wasn't to the level of Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne was allowed, because 99 times out of 100, that purpose ball or pass, he would get it to. Yeah. He would find the player. So if your consistency isn't great on your passing and your range, Kevin De Bruyne's was exceptional. Bernardo Silva's is exceptional. David Silva was exceptional for City. So all them years of having that type of player, that even if they took that risk of a ball, 9 times out of 10 it would come off.
In terms of Michael Carrick, do you think this kind of hands-off approach, letting the players play with freedom, express themselves,
a little bit, yeah.
Do you think that'll help long term?
I think he's given them a little bit more allowance. I mean, look, Amorim's structure and the way they played was pretty predictable. I didn't think it suited them. I felt it was a bit of a mismatch of what the manager want and the way he set up his team. And the players, are they capable of doing that? Well, probably yes, but they were better suited to having a more, I think, basic 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, whatever way you want to go. But he certainly brought a lot to the table, Michael Carrick.
He has indeed. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. Everton host Manchester United, live here on talkSPORT at 8 o'clock. Let's do this.
And they're off. Win a trip to Cheltenham, Alan Brazil style, on talkSPORT.
I can't wait for Cheltenham, just around the corner. The famous Cheltenham Festival. Gold Cup Day is Friday the 13th of March. Ooh, Friday the 13th? That may not be lucky.
Did we just have a February the 13th?
We did. We've had Friday the 13th just happened. We've got another one. Anyway, you might find some luck at the races with us that day. You could be alongside Alan Brazil and Ray Parler and all the team for VIP treatment at Cheltenham on Friday the 13th of March. Here's how you can get involved to win this brilliant trip to Cheltenham. Text the word win to 83338. Texts are £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call this number 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260, and the lines close on the 27th of February at 4 o'clock. That's when you'll need to answer the phone if we call you. 18 plus, UK residents only. It's a talkSPORT promotion, a nice wee trip to Cheltenham with Alan Brazil and co. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com. Text the word win to 83338 now. Coming up for you next, we're going to focus on one of the 2 o'clock games this afternoon as Forest host Liverpool.
I'll tell you why I'm not worried, because if Arteta doesn't win anything this season major, then it has to go, all right?
No, I disagree with that.
No, well, you would, wouldn't you? But we don't sack managers every other week.
But you can't sack
right?
a manager who gets to the latter stages of every competition. You can't. You can't.
You can when the pattern emerges.
You can sack them.
The pattern emerges. Chelsea did it.
It depends what they do.
They won things.
So, John,
okay, here's a question. Would you sack Arteta if they finish... Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My husband's a shambles. Has he not replied to you?
No, I texted him saying any chance you can do dumplings with a stew.
Well, it is 10 to 8 in the morning.
Yeah, but I know it's not like I've woken
Can he
him
not
up.
have a lane on a Sunday?
No, he can. But he did put out there the stew. Now he said, why don't I just book somewhere and we'll go for dinner? Now I've requested the dumplings. See, I've got too much pressure. I've asked too much of him.
I'm not sure how many restaurants would do dumplings. I think you'll find that really hard.
I really want one now, though. Damn you.
I'm sure someone will say, oh, they do dumplings.
Text your mum. Ask her to make us some. Some of your headlines this morning. England take on Sri Lanka. And the T20 World Cup updates here on talkSPORT from 9:30. Home favourite Lee Wood comfortably outpinned Josh Warrington in the grudge match at Nottingham's Motorpoint Arena, securing second victory over his British rival. And Eddie Hearn says he's ready for the battle with Zuffa Boxing's Dana White after the fledgling boxing promotion poached Conor Benn. Here's what Adam Catterall had to say on that situation on Fight Night.
For Conor Benn to not even grant the opportunity of a conversation, a phone call, a heads up, here Eddie, this is what's going on, this is where my head's at, I think he's really damning on his character. I really do. For him to do and behave in this particular manner, I mean, the phrase that keeps going around my head, who needs enemies when you've got friends like that, you know? I think he didn't owe the fact that he had to stay with Matchroom. As I said, moving on, it's business at the end of the day. It's the way that you go about conducting that business. For him to not even have a conversation with Eddie Hearn, I think he's pretty disgusting, to be fair.
Ugh, no loyalty here.
No.
This is going everywhere now, isn't it? What do you think of Conor Benn going with Dana?
Strange. Look, as Adam was talking there, is a guy that stood by you all through the troubles that he's had. I think he was nearly with him for about 9 years, wasn't he, Eddie? And he would have helped him at times. He had massive issues a few years back and stood by him, loaned him money. And look, if he's had a conversation with someone else and Dana White's put this proposal to him, you have that conversation of saying, I've been offered this. Can we get closer with my matchroom contract of, making it possible? You have to have that conversation. I'll tell you who I think is a good person to step in, and is his dad, Nigel, and say, remember what Eddie Hearn's done for you. Now, I don't know all the stuff. I don't know everything, because we don't. But what I do know, that Eddie got him some really big fights, that it changed his career. 2 really big ones against Chris Eubank Jr. And with that, you'd feel like you'd say, have a conversation with Eddie. You do not, because Eddie I've seen the podcast where he's talking, and Eddie said he didn't speak to him. He didn't speak to him. Ben. So Conor Ben didn't speak to him. So that in itself is not good. That's not good form.
Yeah. No.
Not to even have a conversation.
It's not a great look. You would actually feel a bit sorry for Eddie Hearn in this situation as well.
Well, look, he's a promoter and he makes as much money as he can. He does what he has to. But, someone's been loyal to you. I think you have to show some sort of, just your behaviour, morals, principles, all them things come into play.
Sure.
And I think by just moving on and ditching Eddie as what it seemingly seems, that's a bit out of form.
Let's move on to 2 o'clock this afternoon. Liverpool travel to the City Ground to face Nottingham Forest, currently sitting 17th in the table. Forest into this one following that win over Fenerbahce in Vita Pereira's first game in charge. Joining us now, writer and Forest fan, Steve Battle Much. That's the best name in the morning. Steve, do you battle much? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Well, the team certainly are battling. That's
you weren't bad. You weren't bad in midweek, Steve. So tell us how you've seen this season, because Forest fans, you've seen a number of managers come in and go, and where do you see it all? Because it feels like carnage quite often at Nottingham Forest.
It's been a massive roller coaster of emotions for fans, because last year was a 30-year high, finishing in a European place, 2 points off Champions League spot. It was dreamland for many of us who saw the team in League One. So when we started the new season and the first day we won 3-1 at home, everything was just looking rosy, looking forward to, a European campaign. Nuno talked himself out of a job. The truth about that will come out in due course, I'm sure. We had the mad Ange experiment. Sean came in and settled it down and, got us playing again, got us out the bottom 3. We've not been back in the bottom 3, but we're still far too close to it for comfort. And now we're on the 4th manager. It's just bonkers at season, but, that's why we're football fans, isn't it? We just got to roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what happened midweek, you were at that game. Really positive performance. Do you think Vitor's your man to turn things around?
Well, what he did do is he played the strongest side, and he took off our best players after 60 minutes when we were 3-0 up, which is what many fans like to see in those situations. Often in the Europa League this year, we've gone in with a second string side or a weakened side, and then you're bringing on your big guns to try and rescue a game. We could have been in that top 8. We ended up having to go through the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You go to Fenerbahce, you think it's going to be a hellhole. It certainly was in terms of the atmosphere. But we came out and we were on the front foot from the opening seconds, and it was a bit dreamland for us. To have that sort of performance in the manager's first game gives us massive confidence going into today.
Steve, I've got bad memories of the late 70s and 80s and meeting Forest and playing you, and you getting the better over Liverpool quite often, and sort of being, you always seem to have Liverpool's number for a period of time. Do you think this is a little bit of hope here for Forest to get a result today against Liverpool?
Well, we've beaten them twice at Anfield in the last 2 years, which they get a bit sore about, getting on his head about it. And
it goes back a long time, though, Steve. That does.
Absolutely. I was at the European Cup game when we beat them 2-0 at home in the two-legged, our first foray into the European Cup. And they were convinced they were going to overturn us at Anfield. And we went up there and had a 0-0. So, we did the hoodoo on them in the late 70s. And there's been some great battles over the years. I mean, when you grow up as a Forest fan in Nottingham, you have Liverpool as a rival. You've had 23 years in the Championship. People look at you gone out, but people with long memories like me can remember those days.
And me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
I'm only joking. Steve, how do you want today to go? Have you got a prediction for us?
Well, if we get the first goal, I'll be very confident that we can hang on, to be honest, because, you look at the side that we've got, it's the core of the side that did really well last year. We've got England's number 6 in the midfield. We've got Gibbs White, who's trying to get into the World Cup squad. Sangari's in the form of his life. And we've got the back four that a lot of teams would like to have in their team. So, I'm confident as you can be going in against the millionaires of Liverpool. But, I tell you what, the atmosphere will be roasting. It'll be great atmosphere at the City Ground, as it always is.
Steve, very briefly, what's the latest update on Chris Wood?
Well, a lot of us think that we're probably not going to see him back in a Forest shirt. There's been rumours that he might get back in for 2 or 3 games before the end of the season. He's clearly desperately trying to get to the World Cup, but we have missed him. What a season he had last year, and that's been our problem this year. We haven't been able to score goals.
Okay, Steve Battlematch, Forest writer and fan. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck for you today. All right.
Cheers, Steve.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve. All the updates coming for you here on talkSPORT. Coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll build up to the North London derby.
Just unbelievable how things have changed so dramatically just from like a 190-minute game where Arsenal
but it's not 190-minute game, though.
No, it's not.
It's been a few weeks now.
No, you're right. But if Arsenal win that 2-0 compared to drawing it 2-2, the narrative is so different. The point, we're talking about now. You said it last night. Championship rounds, we are there. We're approaching that time now. And here's the funny thing, right? Is that it's Man City, right? They're not putting Arsenal under pressure. This is not like Man City and Liverpool going toe to toe, where City win, Liverpool win, City win, Liverpool draw, City win, Liverpool win, City. And do you remember that under Klopp and Pep, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when Chelsea were going toe to toe with Man United. There'll be that they win, and you have to go. And there's like the points difference was minute, and every result mattered. The only
What's your club or country's sliding doors moment? Its meaning originating from the 1998 rom-com of the same name, a sliding doors moment in football terms is simply a question of what might have been. An incident in a game where, had it gone the other way, would have altered history. For example, say John Terry had scored that penalty in Moscow in 2008. Chelsea would have been European champions and Avram Grant would have the biggest medal in continental club football to his name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeats in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Very good morning. Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast live for you here on talkSPORT. We're on the smart TV, we're on the YouTube channel, and we're on the wireless. It's good to be with you. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino is in the house.
Good morning.
Manchester City kept up the pressure on first place Arsenal with a win against Newcastle last night, live on talkSPORT.
Scoops across towards the far post. O'Reilly is there and he heads it across the goalkeeper and into the net. It's a super move and Haaland comes up with an assist for O'Reilly.
In other news, Chelsea were not ruthless enough, that's according to the manager Liam Rossinier, as the Blues threw away points late to Burnley at the Bridge.
Burnley have a corner. James Ward-Prowse whips it in, and Burnley equalise at Stamford Bridge. Fleming, the goal scorer. It's absolutely remarkable.
I love that from Sam Ellard. Let us know your thoughts this morning, Chelsea fans. Is a Champions League finish in your future? Let us know, 81089, and we'll look ahead to more cracking football to come today. It's the latest instalment of the North London derby. Our Jamie O'Hara told us Spurs must smell the blood in the water.
You know, there's good times and bad times to play teams, in my opinion, right, throughout the season. I think this is the best time that you can pick to play Arsenal right now.
I think even Arsenal fans might agree with Jamie on that. You can let us know your thoughts this morning. 03717 223344 is the number, or 81089 if you want to send us a text. North London derby, all the updates coming for you here on talkSPORT on Game Day Live from 4:30. Good morning. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. So Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today, Cass.
Yeah.
The amount of facets in this game this time, it's not your average North London.
No, it's a special one. And a lot at stake today for both clubs. Spurs desperately need a win, or at least something on the board, because they're just hovering around that relegation zone, and which seems amazing. But they had their league season last year. Tottenham fans don't need to be told this, but it was awful, I felt, as well. So they've had two campaigns where they've been in really poor positions considering the stature of the club.
Do you believe that they could go into this relegation battle? If they get beat today, that's...
Yeah, if they get beat today, and look, it would have been a lot worse if West Ham would have won as well. If they come out of, say if they had come out this weekend that Forest had got a result against Liverpool and West Ham had got a result yesterday. It didn't happen, but, you know, the draw for West Ham and what we don't know the outcome of Forest today yet, it could have been really serious. And Monday morning would have been a different place if they'd have lost the London derby as well. Yeah, of course it would have brought them into it.
Arsenal should be confident going into this game. They've got a great squad, a very good manager. They're top of the league, right? But there's a lot of nervous Arsenal fans out there. Do you wonder if that affects the team, knowing that fans are already going, we could be, I don't want to say the B word because we don't like it. But
I get it that Arsenal fans are anxious about what they've seen. They've lost 1 in 20. I said it yesterday. They're top of the league. They're top of the Champions League group table. There's lots to be positive about. Look, midweek was a hard one. Playing the bottom club and being pegged back to 2-2 and then seeing the type of goal, the equaliser, that was something we haven't seen all season from Raya and Gabriel. So that makes them anxious.
The one thing as well is that if they are to drop points today, they've seen this movie before.
They've got a lot of. Look, let's get it right. If we did a composite between Tottenham and Arsenal, how many Spurs players would get in the team?
Well, was it? Did we speak about this on Friday on Weekend Breakfast? I think we said potentially.
No, we didn't do it yesterday.
On Friday, maybe. I think it was Mickey van de Ven. We said
maybe
in there. Possibly Dom Solanke, because he's scored 2 against City recently. It's not as if Arsenal strikers are banging in goals for fun. Maybe that's about it.
And they're big maybes.
Exactly. Even then at a push.
So you know that Arsenal have got a squad that are very capable of going there and doing a number on Spurs.
Let's move up the road, shall we, to the Scottish Premiership. The leaders' Hearts got a win yesterday. Celtic welcome Hibs to Celtic Park today. The hosts are third in the table, 54 points from 26 games, chasing our 56th SPL title. More in this game now with former Celtic defender Jackie McNamara. Good morning, Jackie. How are you keeping?
Jackie.
Good morning. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. Tell us, Jackie, because obviously Stuttgart in midweek, 4-1 defeat, Parkhead. But Martin O'Neill's sort of turned the ship around, hasn't he, in the SPL? Are you a little bit... How do you see this Celtic team?
I think Martin turned around twice.
Yeah.
He turned around the first time before Wilfred came in. It got the team back winning domestically. And then obviously having to chase after Wilfred, it kind of set the club back again. I think he's squeezed everything as much as he can with the players that he's got. Stuttgart are a good side. I think they were way ahead of Celtic on Thursday night, but they're still in it. The good thing is they're still in the title race, but there's 4 teams in it now for me.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question because, as you said, Martin O'Neill has turned it around twice. Do you think if he'd have stayed in the first time that Celtic would be 10 points clear now?
I think they'd be clear now, yeah. Maybe not 10 points, but I definitely think they'd be clear. I think it was a mistake to change it at the time, but and it's shown that with a new manager coming in with fresh ideas and wanting to play a certain style that maybe would have been suited for pre-season and working. I mean, you can see it with how Motherwell have been this year, the new manager, his philosophy and his style of football. Motherwell have been a breath of fresh air. But it takes a bit of time to get to, the players to understand how he wants to play. And now they're seeing the benefits of that. But not at the start, they weren't.
So you're putting Motherwell, Jackie, into that title race then?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the performances, even their draw against Rangers with 10 men, I just think their style of football, they just play the same way. They get the ball down, and their performance last night against St Mirren, I know they had a player sent off St Mirren later on, but even before that, to go there to St Mirren and win 5-0 sends a massive message. They've got a game in hand. They're 10 points behind Hearts. So they've got a big say in what's going to happen with the title anyway.
That's a big win for Hearts yesterday, Jackie, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. 1-0 at home to Falkirk. Massive result for them, after the defeat at Ibrox last week. So they're still getting the results just now. Yeah, it makes it a bit interesting for the neutrals.
So, Jackie, for Celtic then, do you think, knowing that next week we've got a mountain to climb, going to Germany to try and get one back over Stuttgart, but do you think it's almost a good thing maybe having one foot out of Europe and just to be able to focus on the Scottish Premiership?
I actually don't. I think in Europe is good. And they've obviously brought 5 new players in the window, and try to get them up to speed of how the team play. And I think Europe I don't think it's a distraction at all. I think the players should be used to, performing on a Thursday night and then going and playing on a Sunday. We'll have to do it again next weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it's this weekend. And next weekend, obviously, a massive game against Rangers.
So tell us a little bit about Hibs, Jackie.
Hibs, I actually went to see Celtic earlier on the season against Hibs. It was a 0-0 draw and Brendan was the manager. It wasn't a particularly good game. They're very well organised. They play a back 3 or 5, how you want to see it. They get the balls in. I think losing Bowie's been a big blow for them in terms of their leading the line and their goals. But they'll still be a dangerous team today for Celtic. Celtic, Martin finds a way to win, even if they're not playing great. I think the concern would be the goals they lost the other night.
Yeah.
The last few weeks they've relied on late winners against Livingston and Kilmarnock. But some of the defendings and goalkeepings hasn't been up to standard.
Would you bench Schmeichel today? Do you think there's a possibility Martin O'Neill might do that?
I think there is. I think he maybe take him out the firing line for a bit. There's no doubt that he's been a fantastic goalkeeper and he's been good most of the time at Celtic. I think you could see from last year, the injury to his shoulder has affected him, and where that's still the case, I don't know. But it's ones maybe you'd expect him to save, and he has come under a lot of criticism for it.
Yeah, it's hard when you watch the Celtic fans, or a handful of them, really turn on Schmeichel. He's been getting a lot of stick, and the other night was a really poor performance for him. So you wondered if he'll make that call today, Martin O'Neill. Listen, Jackie, what are you thinking? Can Celtic win the league, or are you thinking Rangers are going to do it this time, or will it be Hearts? This is a mental season, FYI.
It is a mental season. As I said, you couldn't rule out Motherwell at this stage. I really believe that. Just just the way they're playing, and I'm obviously hoping Celtic will win the league. I think it'd be great for Martin to come back, and it'll be some achievement because where he started from after Brendan, and then having to pick up the pieces after Wilfred. But it's been a crazy season, so hopefully he can get over the line.
Hopefully no fan protests today, because that really threw them against Stuttgart the other night.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's been a pretty crazy season with everything. The fans are have not been happy for a good while now, and they're trying to put their stuff across. There's no Green Brigade at the games either, and so there's been a lot of things wrong this season.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate you as ever. Take care.
Thank you, Jackie.
Cheers.
Former Celtic defender Jackie McNamara there. I should have said him on air, but I heard a great story about him last week.
Did you?
Really tickled me. Anyway, Jackie McNamara there. Do you think Celtic could get one today? It needs to be a statement.
Yeah, I do. I mean, look, I don't really see much of the SPL, but I've seen enough to know that Celtic can. If you have any straightforward strategy at Celtic, and you've got players that are clearly better than most of the teams in the league, you're going to win a lot of football matches.
Yeah, oh gosh, we've got it all to do. We really do. Don't forget, by the way, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is available for you now. They're out every morning. On Friday, I spoke exclusively to Newcastle and England defender Dan Burn, who discusses his aims for the rest of the season, jumping back on social media, guiding the youngsters in the dressing room, and how his mental health has improved his career. You can listen to that now on the talkSPORT app or wherever it is you get your podcast. The talkSPORT Daily podcast. Don't forget all the updates from the Scottish Premiership coming today on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT. Stick with us. Coming up next, we'll get the latest odds with Coral, and shortly we'll be joined by a celebrity Spurs fan to see how his nerves are doing ahead of the North London derby.
got to talk about Celtic. You know, the title, I don't. You've been away, right? The title's blown open now. Celtic favourites, Rangers second favourite, Hearts third.
Yeah.
And I've been whinging, right? And maybe I shouldn't because I don't go regular now. But I've been whinging about Celtic's lack of creation in midfield. It really annoyed me. I'm looking in the midfield saying, come on, we're better than that. Anyway, they got absolutely gubbed last night. But what I didn't know was, right from the first whistle, the old tennis balls came on.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill said something about it.
All I'm saying is this, right? I'm not trying to cover up a shocking result. Celtic got pumped, absolutely pumped, 4-1. But I'm not talking about that because Stuttgart are probably a decent side, better than Celtic.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the players any good when you start that carry on.
Well, it gives the away team a lift as well.
As Martin said, Stuttgart players would know about the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all these tennis balls come on, they're saying, "Oh, love."
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
I don't know who sang this. I remember it well, the song, because it was a massive hit in the 70s. And it was all based on sort of Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee was so prominent at that time. I can't remember who sang it.
Carl Douglas.
Carl Douglas, yeah, that rings a bell now.
It's a great song. My kids love this at the moment.
Kung Fu does.
Yeah. Good morning. It's the weekend breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. There's a story in the papers today regarding Manchester United's Matheus Cunha.
Yeah.
That he's taken up
Kung Fu.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, Jiu-Jitsu. That's really popular, Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
My boy does karate. But Jiu-Jitsu is... because I think it's deemed as the most effective of all the martial arts. So there's like the battle of karate, judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, all the the fighting arts. But Jiu-Jitsu's... I don't know. But I know that a lot of the MMA fighters and the champions all specialise in Jiu-Jitsu, and obviously judo is incredible because once you get someone in a hold, they just can't get out.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting one because lots of fighters who have got in the highest levels, they specialise in all these forms of martial arts.
My dad and all of his side were black belts in judo.
All right, yeah. Judo.
But I mean, in terms of footballers taking up this, there's obviously different.
Would that be a bit of an injury?
Well, he's training. He's doing jiu-jitsu with a former world champion nicknamed the Lizard.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Give yourself another outlet, another focus. I'd absolutely batter you now. You'd be tapping out. Help!
Tapping out.
Did you ever know any footballers who did wrestling or?
Yeah, I knew a few that did certain sports, but most of them after their careers. But there was a few that were obsessed with it, loved the fighting, or more so watching, because there's certain sports you can't do because of injury. Like, you can't do skiing.
Nah.
Right? You can't do skiing.
You're daft if you do that.
And some of the French players, when I it was in France, they would go skiing.
Was it not Pogba did it not long ago? Was it not Pogba got himself?
Well,
you can't ride.
You're not meant to be able to ride a motorbike. Okay, you're not allowed to do that. You're not meant to do skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the French players did skiing. They'd all even talk about going skiing in the break because they have the winter break.
Yeah.
They go skiing, but you're not meant to. So you're obviously not insured. So if you have a serious injury, which is quite common.
Yes. You were more into marital arts than martial arts, weren't you? Okay, let's get the latest odds now with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Get set to bring the cheer this festive season with a sleigh full of free rewards from Coral. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
And a very good morning to John Hill. John, do you do any martial arts on the side?
No, a bit of amateur boxing in my youth, I have to say.
I didn't know.
Yeah, enjoyed a bit of boxing. And the boxing's great training. Even now, I don't get in the ring doing any sparring, but they do put you through the paces, boxing coaches, I have to say.
I could see, John, you've taken a few punches.
I've certainly had a few punches, the way I speak as well. But funny enough, you mentioned about the skiing there. We obviously speak to a lot of jockeys for Coral to do some blogs for us, and a lot of them go skiing when they don't have any rides, which is incredible, really. But it just goes to show the adrenaline rush that some of these sports stars must chase. If jumping over fences on some 5-ton horse is not enough, let's go skiing on our break, and it could end up in A&E somewhere. But fair play to jockeys, as to say they do chase that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, look, we've got an adrenaline rush this afternoon because I think we'll have to start with Spurs against Arsenal. And how are you pricing it up, John?
Yeah, some game, isn't it, this for Eigor Tudor, the new Spurs boss, and pressure now for Arsenal after City winning against Newcastle yesterday. Let's just look at the outright betting on the title. Arsenal now 4-6 cast, City 5-4. So, these odds probably, they wouldn't be the shortest 5-4 City since probably September, August, I don't think. So it really has spun this outright market, and there's very little between the two sides now. So in terms of the North London derby today, Arsenal 4-7 favourites, Spurs 19-4, the draw 3-1. I have to say it was a left field appointment in terms of Eigor Tudor. I didn't see this one coming, but it's a tough start for him, isn't it, against Arsenal, Cass?
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting encounter. I'm really looking forward to it this afternoon. I mean, we have got the Forest-Liverpool game before.
Yes.
We have, we can look at that one now. 2 o'clock this one. Liverpool, a shade of odds on at 19-20. I was just looking at the preview for this game. Incredible, isn't it? This is Forest's 4th manager of the season. You'd be forgiven for forgetting who started the season in charge of Forest. It's been that sort of campaign for them, hasn't it, really? But he got off to a good start in the Europa League, did Vita Pereira against Fenerbahce, a long travel across to Turkey for his side. But Liverpool today, they'll be looking to try and find a bit of momentum at the back end of the season, because this 4th place is tight as well, isn't it? The race for I know the title's interesting, but Liverpool are in a battle with the likes of United, Chelsea, who slipped up yesterday against Burnley. So all to play for still for Liverpool.
Yeah, there certainly is. And look, let's get it right, John, that 5th place is pretty much assured. Premier League club will play Champions League football anyway.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is obviously a big boost for the Premier League. What else have we got today? Palace versus Wolves. Well, Palace are very much a club in crisis at the moment. Glasner, obviously, we know he's leaving at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he left before then, because things don't seem quite right there for the Eagles. They're 8-11 to beat Wolves today, who have improved recently. Obviously, picked up points against Arsenal midweek. They're 18-5 to prevail today, Wolves. And then Sunderland versus Fulham, very little between these two sides. Sunderland 13-8, Fulham 17-10, the draw 23-10. So 4 really good games to look forward to in the Premier League. Hats off to Scotland yesterday. Shebahn in the rugby left it late against Wales, but got the job done there. So fair play to the old Scots.
Speaking of Scotland, what's your odds on Celtic and the title race up there, John? Are you on the spot? Have you got that handy?
No, I've got it, absolutely. Yeah, well, there are obviously 2 games in action today. Celtic at 1-2 to beat Hibernian. So we're expecting Celtic to prevail in that one. And then Rangers 4-11 to beat Livingston. So that would be a big upset. But at the moment, in terms of the outright market, Celtic 5-6 favourites to lift that title. Rangers 2-1, and Hearts 9-4. So still very tight, but it's advantage Celtic at the moment. And as I say, victory today would put them on course for another title.
Wonderful stuff. John Hill, thank you so much for your time this morning. Enjoy your shadow boxing.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Take care of yourself, John.
Cheers, John.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+ be gambleaware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
And coming up for you next, we're going to speak to this man.
After dark, come up with the top down. Got a city on
lockdown. Sorry. Yeah. Big Spurs fan Anthony Costa will be with us next to build up to the North London derby. Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT.
Do you doubt that Jermaine can take Moses Atoma into the later rounds?
I think he's going to get knocked out. I do. I think I just know. And by the way, saying someone's going to get knocked out is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm not disrespecting Jermaine. I'm looking at the fight, looking at Moses Atoma, looking at what I've seen from Jermaine. And I think that ideally, I don't want to see an early fight. I want to see a good fight. I want to see Jermaine stick it on Moses Atoma. I want to see a good fight. And ultimately, we have an enjoyable evening watching two good fighters put something out. But I think Moses, I don't think he's been in with someone as quick and as fast and at this stage in his career. Going in with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White at their stages in their career is not the same going in with Moses. But on the other side of it, Moses isn't as experienced and as wise as those two fighters.
And that's
so there's a trade-off. But I think, personally, with due respect to the man sitting next to me, I think he's going to get knocked out by Moses.
But there's nothing to suggest that he...
Telling you now, objection overruled. Here we go, oh baby.
Good morning, welcome along to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Thank you for listening to talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and former Millwall and Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. A little bit of blue there because Anthony Costa will be with us shortly. But here's what else is coming up for you on talkSPORT today. Following us, the Sunday edition with Henry Winter and Sean Custis. Apparently it was Sean Custis who asked us to play blue today, wasn't it? He loves blue.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
I'll spread lies whenever I want. Morning, Sean. Morning, Henry. They're with you at 9.
Sure, I bought that. I bought right into that.
Literally.
2-footed, I went in there.
Just imagine the day that Sean Custis comes into the studio and requests blue. We'll know he's lost it. Then at 11 o'clock, it's the warm-up with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning, 1:30, going around the grounds with all of the goals as they go in. Premier League, EFL, Women's FA Cup, Scottish Premiership, all the updates as well coming from the North London Derby at 4:30. And then it's our Natalie Sawyer and Alan Pardew taking all of your calls on the weekend's action from 6:30 on the final word, and then Trans Euro Express with Danny Kelly at 9. Stay across it all on the talkSPORT app. One of the biggest games in the Premier League is happening today. Tottenham versus Arsenal, the North London Derby, baby.
It is one of English football's iconic fixtures.
And Lennon has equalised.
Magical game, everybody knows.
Yeah, Walcott through the centre. He's going to beat the goalkeeper for a second time. Is he? Yes, he is. 5 goals they've scored after going 2-0 down.
Probably the nicest game of the season to watch and to play.
It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1. Eberici Eze. He could have signed for Spurs, remember, but he's a hat-trick hero for Arsenal.
Spurs have confirmed the appointment of Eigor Tudor.
If they need someone to shake up the place and get everyone going, then he's definitely the right person for it.
This is the North London Derby.
Arsenal have dropped 2 points in the title race.
These 2 points dropped tonight will really hurt. And listen, Tottenham next, isn't it?
Anything that we say now is not useful, is we have to do it on the pitch.
We want to play this game in a way that our fans will like, give everything what we have.
What we're about to dare us to do, don't go there and wave the white flag. You have to fight.
Huge game at the top and at the bottom of the Premier League. Arsenal need points to maintain the title challenge. Spurs need some points to put away this noise of relegation. Somebody who might be feeling the nerves or feeling confident today is Anthony Costa, blues singer. Good morning, Anthony. Thanks so much for being with us again. How are you doing?
Anthony?
Good morning. How you doing? You all right? Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes.
Good
morning. What you're feeling at 8:35 in the morning, Anthony?
I hate it, mate. I absolutely detest this game. I hate the build-up. I hate listening to managers talking in the presser. I hate players talking about how it means to them. Just go over that, get on that pitch, and fight for that badge today. I don't care. I just want 6:30 to come, so I know where we're going to be come the end of the season. Because honestly, I don't think we've got the fight in us to have a relegation fight, and we're in a dog scrap now.
Yeah.
Let's call it right.
Yeah.
So I'm dressed in black because it's back to the 90s.
So is it a day for you that you absolutely your first and foremost is you just have to get in amongst it, make it difficult, and don't leave every bit of blood and sweat out there.
So, Tony, I mean, I've never played professional football like yourself. I've played football, but I've never played professional football. When you go over that white line, no matter what's been said in the dressing room, no matter what's been, this is North London Derby. This is winner takes all. Like, there's no time to die. 2 days to do is what's all over our stadium. Go out there and just fight for that badge and just get something out of something today. Because if we show them too much respect and show that we're scared, then it's all over. It'll be over by 4:35. Because you just know how it's going to be in that first sort of 5-10 minutes.
Some game though, Anthony, like looking at a new manager coming in, like what have you made of Eigor Tudor and his chat leading up to this game? I mean, it's one to walk into, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly one to walk into. I don't know much about the geezer. So I'm just like, yeah, mate, you go and crack on, do what you've got to do, and just keep us in the Premier League. That's his job. I've got no affiliation. I've got no love. Yeah, beat Arsenal today, and the love might come back, start slowly coming back. Honestly, guys, I hate this game. I call it the dentist game because you know you've got to go to the dentist, but you hate it. I just want it over with because we are in no situation to be there going, we're going to play this and we're going to play lovely football. It ain't about that today. Today is about a result and trying to get a result. It's the truth. I can't help it. I'm so passionate that it just kills me, this game.
Therefore, you would absolutely love it if you guys put a dent in Arsenal's title challenge today. So you have to feel that way, right? You have to be more on that
100%.
side of things.
100%. You know, if we do, then fantastic. But today is all about us as a team, as fans, getting behind that team and making sure that we stay in the Premier League. You know, if we dent Arsenal's championship hopes, unbelievable. But we're in no right mind to sort of go, yeah, but we dented your championship results, but yeah, we're going to get relegated. That's we're just going to get laughed at and bantered. So let's get our result today and just carry on from there.
See, I love your passion, Anthony, and you said earlier about crossing the right line and doing the job. Absolutely, spot on.
Yeah.
The trouble is, the one thing is that you can't get caught up in is someone doing something crazy, you know, and getting red carded and losing it in a game like this. So it's more of, yes, what your the desire and motivation, all the stuff you're talking about, but you've got to be able to keep your heads, and you haven't done that enough as a team as well.
We haven't, Tony, and that's the worry. That's the thing of, like you know, Romero, unfortunately, I think he's let us down. You know, he let us down the other week, and he's got a 4-game ban now. He's our captain. He's supposed to show composure when needed. He has got that in him to do that, but he has got a red card in him as well. Hence why he's missing four matches. But for me, I just think they've got to go there, or they've got to come to us today, and we've got to go toe to toe with them and not show them too much respect. Because if we do, it's all over. Yeah. It's all over.
I'm keen to see how this guy will play. Cass knows him from Marseille. As watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Eigor Tudor saying it's very... You know,
it's very front foot. It's very
football,
it's a setup that makes it difficult. But when you attack it, I mean, I was saying to Shebahn earlier that he had Payet, who was at West Ham at Marseille, and he was a bit of a star there. He'd got some wonderful goals. He left him out immediately because he wouldn't press from the front. So it's, you know, you can't if you're gonna carry someone in a team that's gifted technically, but don't do the work and, like you said, the sweat and desire to get in positions to stop the opposition. He didn't want them in the team. And that was that's the way he, you know, went about his business at Marseille.
Have we got that in us, Tony? Have we got them type of players that you can go, he's going to be all right, he's going to be not the greatest?
If Solanke was fit enough, and I think Solanke can lead the line and do the pressing and chasing, I really do feel that.
Okay.
It's whether you've got it everywhere else as well.
Exactly, and it's all about the heart today. It's all about the heart.
We were speaking about this on Friday with Ray Parlour, like how many Spurs players would get in Arsenal's team. We were saying perhaps maybe Mickey van de Ven, possibly Solanke on his day. Would you take any Arsenal players in the Spurs team?
Yeah, anyway, next question. Right, we're going on tour.
When is the tour? How are the lads?
April. They're all good. They're all good. No, who would I take out of Arsenal? I can't sit here. I hate them things where you mould them together and no, I can't. It just pains me. I don't wear red. I've never worn red in my life.
Okay, and let's ask you another question then. What band member of another group would you take with blue?
Oh, I like that.
Okay. I mean, Scott from Five's a very good friend of mine, but he's a gooner, so I can't. He's going to be bantering me today. It will never work. AJ from the Backstreet Boys, because they don't know about football.
You can recruit him, one of your own. Anthony, you going to the game today? I can feel the tension from you, like it's really coming.
Sorry, Shebahn. I've got my ticket, and I probably will, but it's just that journey home. If we lose, obviously I listen to you guys on the way home. It's going to be Spurs fans phoning in if we lose, and I'm going to get myself wound up, and I'm going to get myself like irate. So I just don't know.
Well, you can phone us here at talkSPORT, vent your frustrations later.
Thank you.
Good luck with the tour. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon. Good luck today. Try and enjoy it. See what happens.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you all. talkSPORT, love you. Take care.
We love you too. Anthony Costa from Blue. Massive Spurs fan. I mean, you can just feel that tension there, right?
No, and look, people have got their own world and their music world that he's in. You know, you sometimes get shocked by how passionate they are about football and their club. Mm-hmm. And Anthony's speaking totally from the heart there. You know, he doesn't want to see not an inch given on that football pitch today, especially at home. And I said yesterday that I expect Arsenal to go there and win, but they've got to keep their head, Spurs. Yes, it's at home, and yes, your fans are going to be demanding for absolutely everything in this game. But don't lose it, because you could be out of this game before you know it.
If you're looking at it on paper and you're thinking with your head, it should be an Arsenal win. But all of that goes out the window. Of course, under the current circumstances.
You can get embarrassed in these sort of games. I remember when Arsenal went many moons ago, and Liam Brady got a wonder goal, and I think they won 5-0 Arsenal that day. And and that passion, and Tottenham had a really good team. You look at the team that were up at the Spurs side of that day. There was some really top players. It can happen. You can if you get embarrassed and opened up once, twice, and then you chase the game, then it goes 3-4. It can happen. But one thing that Spurs have got to be disciplined with organisation, because Arsenal can't keep relying on set pieces as the only way they're scoring goals more than open play. So they've got to keep themselves in this game, but not lose it. I think that's a big thing for Spurs today. And Arsenal, either team, if their heads go in either side, it can just take it away from you in a moment.
Perry Groves was saying midweek this might be the biggest North London derby fixture of all time for what it represents today for both clubs. We're going to have you covered here on talkSPORT. All the updates coming for you on Game Day Live. It kicks off at 4:30. Enjoy it on whatever side you're on. Hope it goes well for you. It's time now for this.
And they're off. Win a trip to Cheltenham, Alan Brazil style on talkSPORT.
Just around the corner, Cheltenham Festival. We cannot wait here at talkSPORT. Many of the talkSPORT team taking their holiday this week to get the rest before going to Cheltenham with Alan Brazil. We're giving you the chance to be there on Friday the 13th of March, which sounds unlucky, but we were saying actually 13's the lucky number.
Well, some countries, yeah. I think Spain. Look, the Western world is generally unlucky, but Spain and Italy, the number 13 is not the same. In Asia, it's slightly different as well. A bit of a non-event, the number 13. It's weird, isn't it, around the world, how different things...
Numbers represent good or bad.
I mean, I can't remember which country, but the number 4, I think, is it China?
Yeah.
That is deemed unlucky.
And also, people say a black cat's unlucky. Apparently, if a black cat runs in front of you, you should put on a lottery ticket. I'm so confused.
No, black cats are lucky if they come across you, isn't it?
I thought a black cat running in front of you was unlucky. Anyway, it's a great chat that we're having, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't
we'll
remember.
look it up. We'll get back to you. But Friday the 13th of March, you could be there.
You know what is lucky?
What?
We got 15 minutes to
Friday the 13th of March, you could be at Cheltenham with us for VIP.
We can't get hammered after 9 o'clock.
Still might. 4-course lunch, complimentary bar all day, celebrity tipsters all around you. It's the best possible way to take in Cheltenham Festival. Here's how you can get involved for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338. Text are £2.50 plus your one standard network rate, or call this number 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. The line's closing the 27th of February at 4 o'clock. You'll need to answer your phone that day if we call you to be in with a chance of winning. It's 18 plus, UK residents only. talkSPORT promotion here, and all of our terms and conditions are on the website at talksport.com. Text the word WIN to 83338 now. Good luck for Friday the 13th. Said nobody ever. Coming up for you next, we'll delve into the court of arbitration for talkSPORT.
They've changed the manager, which is what the fans wanted. I was at their last home game against Newcastle United, and it just felt like the players were completely on the floor, just didn't have the answers, didn't look interested or committed to the manager's plan. How will it be different under Eigor Tudor, and has he had enough time to work with his players, Crook?
I'm intrigued by this appointment because obviously one of the main factors is he's proven in the past that he can come into a team in a difficult situation, give them an uplift, put wins on the board, which obviously Spurs need to steer themselves away from relegation danger. But as Southampton found with Ivan Juric last season, who had a similar profile, there's a big difference between doing that in European leagues and coming into the Premier League and doing it.
Hope you're having a good Sunday. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne Tony Cascarino with you. Some of your headlines: Crystal Palace host Wolves with just one win in the last 15 matches, hoping to improve on that record. 2 o'clock kickoff, updates on Game Day Live. In other news, Ryan Garcia secured his first major title with a dominant unanimous decision victory over Mario Barrios to become the new WBC welterweight champion. And also the last episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live for you. The latest. Excuse my eyeballs.
Say the last. It's
the last
quite
ever.
a long way from the World Cup.
Last ever. Latest episode of How to Win the World Cup. Matt Ford, that's you. You're never getting employed again here at talkSPORT. That's the news for you this morning. It's Matt Ford alongside Lloyd Griffith. Sit down with journalist Henry Winter to discuss his experience of covering 9 World Cups. That's amazing. 9 World Cups in a row, and how much the media can influence what happens on the pitch. Listen to this.
You look at the front pages and you look at the starts of news bulletins, and it's all about man's failure, about wars, about all the issues in the world. And then you go to a tournament and you see, actually, most people kind of want to get along.
Yes. That's, and I find that travelling with England is my limited experiences. It's really diverse. It's really happy. It's really all the things that we talk about. Welsh fans, Irish fans, Scots fans are also true of England. Is that most people they're really happy. It's such a wonderful experience to see
the England fans now. You'll know the Block 109. It's from Wembley. It's sort of the hardcore behind the goal where a lot of the top cappers are. They raise money. I mean, I occasionally do their monthly draw, and they raise money, and they will go, and CJ and others are part of this. They will go, and with their money they'll go and buy iPads, and they'll take it. I've been around orphanages with them, hospitals with them, hospices with them, when they do great good, as does, I think it's called the Sunshine Army with the Tartan Army as well, and it is fantastic. So it is a good way of bringing people together.
Oh, brilliant. That's our Henry Winter with Matt Ford and Lloyd Griffith there in the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup.
All they got to do is win it now.
Yeah, no pressure, gang, no pressure. Do you think England will win it?
I think it's a very big ask in obviously Mexico, Canada and America. I think it's a really big ask because it would be their greatest achievement. If you win it in a home soil, of course it's terrific, like England did, like Argentina did and like France did. It's easier. It's much harder to go to another continent and win it.
I think they'll win it. Even though it kind of pains me to say that, I do think England will win it. I think Thomas Tuchel will get the job done.
The South Americans will have a big say, I think, in the World Cup this year. But, of course, they've got a great side and some really good top players.
We're covering all of the World Cup, by the way, here on talkSPORT. Just around the corner, you can listen to that, How to Win the World Cup, the latest episode, now on the talkSPORT app or wherever it is you get your podcast. Don't forget, Henry Winter is alongside Sean Custis for you next here on talkSPORT in the Sunday edition. We have a little bit of time left. Let's do this.
Setting the record straight. The Court of Arbitration for talkSPORT. Calling Tony Cascarino.
It's great that your name goes with everything. This is Cass, where we ask our very own Tony Cascarino to cast his judgment over some of the most controversial questions in sport and decide their fate. The court is now in session. Pass it again. It's a terrible hammer.
I know, I haven't got a hammer.
Where's your hammer?
Well, if I had a hammer on me, you'd soon complain. He'd say he's got an hammer on it.
I'd find a way to normalise that. Okay, we're going to need your help with this one. Charlie Baker's Torquay United yesterday travelled to bottom of the table at Eastbourne Borough and lost 4-2. Charlie is still crying. However, there was a situation that happened post-match. According to reports on social media, the players allegedly complained that the supporters had a better coach than them and made them swap. What? And according to a source who was apparently on, said supporters coach, it was true due to their coach having more legroom.
Yeah.
Sorry. The players made the fans switch coaches with them. That's mental. It's lovely though. It's great.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that happened with the FAI in Ireland is that we flew to a tournament and the FAI members were in the first class and we were in the seats behind. we was joking, saying, what position are you playing when you get out there? What position to the FAI members? I remember that. Yeah. That was funny.
I'm pretty sure it's some of the lines.
They were in far more comfort than we were.
Some of the lines players said back in the day they had to be a choice of who got business because there weren't enough seats.
Yeah, I mean,
so the smaller guys went.
Hardly anybody went first class.
Nah.
Years gone by, hardly ever anyone went to the, whether it's America. When we travelled to America in '94, we didn't go first class. We were in the, I'd say, premium economy. But it didn't really bother the team at that time.
Whose team are you on here? The supporters or the team? Who should have more?
The team lost. I'm on the supporters.
They should get the legroom going home.
Yeah, because you lost.
That's a bonkers story. I hadn't heard that. Okay, another news. Cash, you were at the G-Tech yesterday where you witnessed history. James Milner set the all-time appearances record in the Premier League. Last night on the Game Day phone-in, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy listed how many talkSPORT presenters made their Premier League debut after Milner and are now retired. So who made talkSPORT presenters made their debut here on the station but have now retired? Is that right? Made their debut after James Milner. I've nailed this. I've delivered this so well. Sam, get in here and read this. Get in here and read this to Kaz. Wait, what is the question? How many talkSPORT presenters made their football debut, after James Milner?
Oh.
And then retired?
Oh, I don't know.
Jamie's got to be one of them.
Yeah, Jamie O'Hara. Yeah.
Pennant?
Oh, Pennant, did you say?
Jamie Pennant.
Yeah. Carlton Cole? There's Carlton.
Carlton Cole, possibly. Yeah. Gabby Agbonlahor. Sam, I'm looking at you for answers.
I have no idea. That's first of all, I didn't really get the question was read.
What, did I not read that perfectly to you? What's wrong with you? Get your head checked. Here's the answer.
But what an inspiration for younger players. It's an unbelievable career. Yeah. Incredible career.
Yeah. He's still performing. I mean,
by the way,
it's not like he's on his last legs.
No, talkSPORT presenters made their debut after James Milner. Jermaine Pennant, Gabby Agbonlahor.
These are not presenters, by the way. They're pundits.
Jamie O'Hara.
I played with James. Played with James in under-21s. I think he already played about 50 games with him. It was ridiculous.
He's the record goal.
Yeah, he's got the record caps for under-21s as well. Yeah, so I played with him, and he was really nice lad, really good, top player as well. But yeah, you can just see genetically, physically, obviously he looked after his body as well. But yeah, I mean, fair play to lad.
What a guy.
So Jamie didn't look after his body.
Yes, just shows you what professional can do for you.
I was at the game yesterday. He was terrific, and everything about his game was simple, and kept it well, moved the ball, and it was interesting because Henderson was, in the midfield for Brentford. But James come out of it shining yesterday. I thought he was inspirational to the team, led by example, and all you would expect of James Milner. It wasn't a club he hasn't. I can't think of a club that he hasn't played well for. If you think from Liverpool to Man City to Newcastle to Villa to Leeds, has he played poorly at any of them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's played well for everybody.
He'll go down as a Premier League legend.
Oh yeah, of course. He's set the record now for one thing, but also longevity, his performance level, consistency's been brilliant. He's a very interesting, because he's not the most gifted, he's not the most technical, but he's got a very simplistic game that's very effective. And that's not being derogatory towards James Milner.
God, no.
A bit doing the basics really well. He's always done that. Yeah. He's always had a bit of an eye for a goal, certainly in his earlier days.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible achievement. Well done, James Milner. Take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
I'm going to watch the North London derby. I'm going to watch Nottingham Forest in the earlier game take on Liverpool. So there's some good football on today, and Might catch a bit of the French playing as well, because they were playing today, aren't they?
Nice. Okay.
Against Italy.
Yeah, lovely. 2 o'clock today, Palace Wolves, Forest Liverpool, Sunderland Fulham. All of the updates coming for you on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT, building up to maybe the biggest North London derby of all time. Yeah, Spurs hosting Arsenal in the Premier League.
Yeah.
We heard from Anthony Costa earlier on.
And find out how to do dumplings.
Do dumplings, work out where Scotland is on the map. What is the highest point of Scotland? How to read. Just a number of things for me to sort out on my Sunday afternoon. Cass, I'll see you next weekend.
Right, Shebahn.
Take care of yourself. Have yourself a wonderful Sunday and stay with us here on talkSPORT. The Sunday edition is on the way next.
If you wanna go, we can take it nice and slow. We got until tomorrow.